Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me, as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
Well, sure. Might as well just go ahead and get in there. Ought to go ahead and welcome every damn body to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show as we all begin another physical and emotional battle with a work day. Janel Klein will be our special guest in studio later on, around 7:30.
That'll be lovely to see her again.
Around 7:30, or whenever she runs out of liquor. Janel Klein's going to swing on by, Josh. Lovely is the word that comes to mind?
That's one of the ways you could describe Janelle both in and outside.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
One of our favorites.
Absolutely.
Never seen her in a bad mood, ever.
You know what? I've also never seen her in a bikini.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, you should. It's to die for.
To die for.
It's exquisite.
Yeah, she's usually in a pretty good mood. By damn Cubby, we played some Black Sabbath a few minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, something like that, as we were prepping for this nightmare. Let's get this out of the way. We meant to bring up the Black Sabbath farewell show yesterday, but ran out of time. Black Sabbath played their final live concert over the weekend in England. I'm not sure the significance there.
Where they got started.
I'm kidding.
Oh. I really thought your brain stopped working.
Yeah, they're an English group.
Because I had somebody over the weekend ask me, why didn't they do that in the States? You know, why would they do that? And I had to explain, well, you know, Birmingham, that's where the band originated. That's where you got to start.
Yeah, why the hell didn't they play it in Ohio?
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Like, it kind of, you know, it sucks. We're all Ozzy fans. Maybe we'd like a better opportunity to see them.
Yeah, and also I think part of the reason was that I don't think they dare put Ozzy on any more long airplane rides in his condition. And I'm being serious. I mean, he's really not in good shape.
No, he looks the worst I've seen him probably ever.
So, yeah, it would be a shame, and it would be disrespectful if we didn't at least give it a quick mention because of the significance of that band. The pioneers of heavy metal is how most fans think of Black Sabbath. So to pay our respects to their great career, just wanted to discuss it for a minute or two. They put on a huge 12-hour-long festival-type show with many special guests, And at the ass end of the show, Ozzy performed a brief set, and then the four original members of Sabbath, who are miraculously all still alive, also played a few songs. Ozzy Osbourne, of course, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, Bill Ward, who I was shocked was still capable. I had heard nothing but bad things about Bill Ward the last number of years, and I guess I was misled because he sat back there. I still haven't seen any video of this, so I was number one.
Of any of the show?
No, I was.
It's good. I mean, to say the least, yeah, it's entertaining.
And Bill Ward was legitimately playing the drums.
I don't know. You know, there's a couple times where people were playing instruments, and you know, folks online would comment like, "I don't think he's really playing." Jake E. Lee was one of those, former guitar player of Ozzy Osbourne.
Well, he was there.
He was there. He performed. I think they just called it Supergroup.
I have the rundown here. It's quite incredible.
It is. The rundown is amazing. All the bands.
But what did he say about what?
So people were speculating. I don't know if it's true that Jake E. Lee was having, you know, the guy nearly died, right? He was shot up walking his dog, and so he had some trouble.
Who?
Jake E. Lee.
He almost died?
Yeah, wasn't he the one that got shot walking his dog? Or am I getting confused with somebody
You're thinking
else?
Well, I don't know. I didn't know Jake E. Lee was shot.
Well, maybe I'm mistaken that for some reason.
Well, anyway, yeah.
So the point is he's having trouble playing.
Jake E. Lee.
Jake E. Lee.
Yeah.
And so Nuno Betancourt of Extreme and a ton of other bands, over the years. He's on stage too, and he kind of steps to the side during a couple of the solos. I think it was just to give Jakey Lee the platform, but other people are saying, well, no, he actually played the guitar because Jakey Lee was struggling.
Okay, sure. I'd have to see it. I have not had the time yet to check out the video. Okay, here's a CFH bass player, Jesus, a regular listener, regular texter. He said not only did Bill Ward play, but he played shirtless. Oh, my God, I have to see I have to see this because I have seen, this is the drummer for Black Sabbath, for those of you who don't know, Bill Ward. I have seen him drum, and I have seen him drum shirtless before, and it did not look good. He's an old man. I mean, what are you going to do? So,
yeah, it was Jakey Lee I was thinking of that was shot. He's walking his dog in Vegas, and he tried to stop a car robbery.
Oh,
and dudes ended up shooting him. Pretty awful.
Bruce Kulick, guitar player for Kiss, also got shot walking down the street a number of years ago. And I believe he was walking down the street with Nikki Sixx. That'll teach you to walk down the street with Nikki Sixx. Only bad things. Anyway, congrats to Black Sabbath. Truly a legendary band.
That's the first metal band I ever got into. That was my introduction into rock. So I'll always have it. Ozzy Osbourne will always probably be my favorite rock musician for that reason.
Yeah, any hard rock fan can probably think back to their first exposure to the band and their original thoughts and reactions to their sound, and because it was special, and it always will be special.
I even remember who introduced us to it. It was me and a few of my friends in 6th grade, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to play you guys something, but you got to be real careful because this music has turned people into Satan worshipers before." And I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. I'm like, oh my God. I was so sheltered. I grew up in a very Catholic family. This was like the stuff we had to avoid, but I wanted to hear it. I couldn't believe it. And so he played us it, and I fell in love immediately. And so I would secretly listen to this music. And then Ozzy, like I said, he's one of my all-time favorite artists.
Ozzy's solo stuff most of it is just terrific.
And if you ever wanted to hack into any of my accounts when I was a young man up until a handful of years ago, just enter an Ozzy-related term, whether it be a song, an album, whatever. Those were always my passwords.
I was exposed to them when I was so young that there was fear. The sight of the band, the sound of the band when I was very young was eerie and creepy and so dark that I was drawn to it for that reason. And then as I got a little older, of course, I was able to appreciate the musicianship, the songwriting, all of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, congratulations. It really is insane and a miracle that all four were able to be there and able to perform. I know Ozzy, at least from what I read, he had to sing while seated.
Yeah.
Because of this and that and the other thing.
It was a sweet-looking throne he sat up in. And, it was a cool-looking show. I mean, people seemed very honored to be there. It was the first time Ozzy had ever met Axl Rose, which floored me that the two of them never crossed paths before.
God, Josh, I saw that too on social media. I was like, are you kidding me? How have they never been in the same room together before?
Yeah, Axl Rose said the same thing.
Yeah.
I have no idea how we've never met before.
That was insane. I thought it was a joke at first.
Well, Axl Rose was a friggin' recluse for about 15 years consecutively.
There's a rumor Ozzy might have been for a lot longer than that as well. I mean, it's pretty odd, though, that the two, with all the festivals and the touring, that they've never met, or in, celebrity parties or anything.
Mm-hmm. But really,
how was Jason Momoa? Anybody see? I heard he was pretty funny because
Momoa.
He was the master of ceremonies for the event.
Yeah.
And
I didn't see any of the stuff.
I didn't see that. I just kind of watched clips of the bands. The streaming was like $30. And at the time, I wasn't able to commit 12 hours to watch it.
Yeah.
I figured I'd just kind of wait and watch some of the highlights. But what I saw was really good.
The actor, Jason Momoa, was the master of... Real quick, there was such a massive group of musicians there to perform and pay tribute to Black Sabbath. Let me just give you as quick as I can, the rundown. Mastodon was there, Rival Sons, Anthrax played a couple of songs, Hailstorm, Lamb of God, these super groups that were put together. This is what really grabbed me. My God, how big was this stage? They had a few separate super groups that got up, and everyone played at least one or two Sabbath songs, and then also were able to play some of their own material. One of the super groups featured, and if you know who all of these people are, I'd be terribly impressed. One of the super groups involved someone called Youngblood, Lizzie Hale, Nuno Betancourt, David Draymond, Whitfield Crane. Anybody?
Is that like a country artist?
No, I think I have this right. I hadn't heard that name out loud in so long. Josh, I believe Whitfield Crane is the lead singer of Ugly Kid Joe.
That's exactly who it is. That's right.
I thought it sounded like a farming equipment or something.
The band that performed I Hate Everything About You and Your Friends. Jakey Lee. Mike Borden doesn't ring a bell. David Ellefson, wow, from Megadeth. Adam Wakeman, Scott Ian, and Frank Bello from Anthrax, Sleep Token. Alice in Chains, Gojira. Another supergroup took the stage. Billy Corgan, Sammy Hagar, Papa Perpetua. Is that the guy from Ghost?
It's got to be. Well, I don't know. He changes his name a lot.
Okay. Tom Morello, Rudy Sarzo. My God. Probably the most accomplished bass player, maybe next to Geddy Lee, that's ever lived. Rudy Sarzo. Steven Tyler. Travis Barker, Chad Smith, KK Downing, Vernon Reed. Go, Josh. Vernon Reed.
Just Living Color.
Living Color. Ron Wood was there. Who the hell invited Ron Wood? And Pantera, Tool, Slayer, Guns N' Roses, Metallica, and then, as I said, Ozzy and Black Sabbath performed.
When I mentioned Jakey Lee and Nuno were performing, David Ellefson was playing bass at that time, so they were part of that super group.
Did Sharon Osbourne, did she announce yesterday? You said there was a band that they wanted to perform, but the band said, oh, yes, we'd love to pay tribute if you pay us $75 million. So they didn't invite. Did she ever let the cat out of the bag?
I mean, the internet is saying a particular band. I don't know if it's the case or not.
Well, who's
well, I mean, I don't want to make them out like douchebags because I don't know if it's true.
Well, but it's okay. It's just a rumor.
So what I've seen overwhelmingly is Motley Crue. Again, I have no idea. I mean, it kind of stands to reason, but no idea if that's true. If you missed it, yesterday we were talking about Sharon Osbourne said, hey, I'm going to reveal a band that we really wanted to perform, but I had to say, you're not welcome here anymore because they demanded payment for a charity event.
That's funny.
It's ridiculous.
Mike Borden. Okay. I mentioned that name out loud, and I wasn't sure when I said it out into the microphone who that was. Mike Borden. People are texting in to tell me that's the dude who drummed for Ozzy for a stretch of time and originally started off in Faith No More. You remember that guy with the really thick dreads, Mike?
Yeah.
I met him one night. He is one of the friendliest guys. I feel ashamed that I didn't recognize him.
Was he also in Pussifer?
I have no idea.
So
I wouldn't know Pussifer if they were kicking my ass.
It sounds like it's different Mike Borden than I played Little League with then, huh?
I don't know. Does he play drums?
We don't know that for sure.
I guess we don't, you know.
No, I mean,
Is he about 20-some years older than you? Was he playing Little League in his 30s?
Yeah, he was the Danny Almonte. That's a deep reference of a Little Leaguer that played when he was over age.
One of the friendliest musicians I ever met in my life was Mike Borden. So there you go. Here's a guy who obviously just tuned in. Hey, was Jakey Lee there? Yes. Porno Jesus. Yes, we were just talking about Jakey Lee, who, of course,
He
performed.
looked good, man.
Did he?
He sure did, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that because I saw him on the internet a few years ago, and he looked like a sun-dried raisin.
Well, okay, let me tell you, I didn't see a close-up of him, but there's a fan was taking a video just a handful of rows in, and I was surprised. Like I said, the dude got all shot up, and he's looking good.
Youngblood. Do you guys know Youngblood?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You do?
Well, this station plays a lot of Youngblood. Or did. I don't know if we still do or not.
Oh.
They were popular amongst our coworkers.
It says here...
Or he. Is it a he?
Honestly, not too sure.
I don't know. Bookshelf Jesus said Youngblood sang the song Changes and killed it. Well, that's great to hear. All right. So there you friggin' go. How did they all make it, Cubby?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, some of those names you think, they're still alive. Unbelievable.
Ooh-wee, how did they all make it?
Well, I'm going to be honest. I completely forgot about this whole thing. And so
did I.
this past weekend, I saw like a Facebook post, like, I don't know, just honoring Ozzy. And I thought, oh, no, that's it for him. He's not. I thought he kicked the bucket. I had to like immediately go to Google.
I see.
Because it was such a meaningful post. And I was like, oh, no, that is not good.
He did look sickly.
Yeah, he has not been in good health.
No, I mean, this is like the worst I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
He looked bad.
Well, this is the worst health he's ever been in, I think so.
What is he, 76?
He's in that wheelhouse, yeah. Well, I'll never forget when I had the chance to go backstage and meet him one night with my friend Curtis. And Curtis looked directly into Ozzy's eyes and said, well, Curtis wouldn't have said Curtis. That would have made no sense. Curtis looked directly into Ozzy's eyes and said, Ozzy, you are my life and I love you. And Ozzy said, nothing.
Maybe he didn't hear him.
Oh, he heard him.
Maybe he just couldn't process the word.
Awkward.
He was devastated by this. Devastated.
You've told the story about the Halloween costume contest with Ozzy
Which
many
was
times over the years.
Wonderful experience. It really was, yeah.
And you mentioned Mirror Man.
Yeah.
The guy with all the mirrors. He emailed us yesterday.
Did he really?
Yeah. And just said, hey, you know, it's crazy since you brought this story up. So he said it was 2006.
Jesus.
And he said since the story's been brought up, like he's become known as Mirror Man. And he said he's got a lot of mileage out of that story over the years.
Oh, I bet.
That's cool.
And, you know, Curtis just knows how to hit it out of the park with rock stars. We mentioned David Ellefson earlier from Megadeth, who performed at this final Black Sabbath show. There was another time where Curtis and I were backstage and got to meet Megadeth. And Curtis, being a big fan of that band, also walked up to David Ellefson, who's from Minnesota, of course. We always have to mention that. Oh, my God, he's from Minnesota. Curtis walked up to David Ellefson and said, hey, Dave, you're from down there in Jackson, Minnesota. You ever go snowmobiling down there? And Dave Ellefson said, no.
Big gulps, huh? All right. See you guys out there.
I feel so bad for him now. That's awful.
Curtis kind of looked to the left and to the right, and he thought, oh, God, I should have planned a follow-up question. And then he just walked away. That was the end.
I mean, it's just a question you'd think most Minnesotans would say, oh, yeah, it's great. The trails are phenomenal.
You know, I mean, I love Curtis, but that was kind of a stupid question.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably, if somebody asked me that, I'd be like, no, but have you? That's cool, I guess.
Is that a passion of Curtis's? Does he love going snowmobiling?
Oh, yeah, he's a big snowmobiler.
So, yeah, I suppose he's trying to find something he knew how to talk about.
Right. David Ellefson's been on drugs and on tour since 1985. No, he's not snowmobiling in his hometown.
Average Welder Jesus said Youngblood is who Ozzy wants to pass the torch to. The whole family's taking him under their wing.
I'll have to look this guy up. All I can picture is that brutal Rob Lowe movie from when I was in 9th grade. And I don't want to picture that.
My parents wouldn't let me watch it. Tonka TIG welding Jesus. They heard about the pube scene.
Yeah,
And,
the pubes.
they wouldn't let me watch it.
And the gal he was dating in the movie takes her clothes off once or twice.
So that was a big no.
Right.
Tonka TIG welding Jesus doesn't blame you, Ashley. He said there were some posts that said Ozzy Osbourne 1948 to 2025.
Yes.
Referring to his career, not his lifespan.
Yes. All right.
Well, you know,
Don't feel dumb now.
Here we are in 20 and 25. And Ozzy just played his final show. Solo or with Black Sabbath. I mean, you can doubt it if you want, but I'm not going to. Considering his health and the fact that he said out loud last weekend, he said, I don't want to die in a hotel room. I want to be at home with my family.
Sure.
So I truly believe this is it. But at the same time, I also thought it was it in 1992.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend about this show over the weekend, and he mentioned, I'll never forget when I went to his farewell tour in 2012. And just like he's telling me the story of how he had to fight to get tickets and what a big deal it was, and he was so happy to be at this last show.
Well, I mean, do you remember the No More Tours tour?
Yeah.
In 1992, he had the hit record. What was the name of the album with Mama, I'm Coming Home and No More Tears? I can't think of the name of the record. Was it called No More Tears?
I thought it was just No More Tears.
Okay, I'll go along. It's a long time ago. But it was sold as his farewell show. And at the show, over and over again, he said, I'll always remember you. This has been my love and my life. And farewell, I love you. I mean, and I was all over it. I bought every word of it because I was 21 or 22 years old. Ozzy at the time was in his 40s or early 50s, and I thought, of course, why wouldn't he walk away? He's in his 40s or 50s. I believed it. And a lot of other folks at the show believed that was truly it for him. And that was, near 33, 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Jesus balls.
I wonder if after doing the Osbournes, that TV show, if maybe they just decided, he's got to go back out. Everybody wants to see him now. Folks that were not fans before now want to take a look at him.
I guess I don't know if was he when he was filming that show, was he...
I don't know what his touring was.
Inactive at the time? It was so long ago, I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, when was that show? 2000? I mean, it was forever ago.
Long time ago.
That's the first time I realized he wasn't evil. And I loved the show, but I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I hear you. It was very funny, but...
The guy you thought was the Lord of Darkness, I couldn't figure out the remote control and needed his son's help. It kind of was a little unsettling.
Why, they had so many dogs, too. My God, they had a lot of dogs.
They love little dogs.
They love little pocket dogs. So there you friggin' go. Hey, before we move on, there's a great opportunity waiting to be snatched up. Fellas in our listening audience, this could be you. This could be you. Yesterday we were talking about that United States track runner. What's the term?
Sprinter.
Hurdler. Thank you. A lot of folks got to be familiar with this cat. Chris Robinson is the name of the guy, an American hurdler on the U.S. track team. His wad fell out of his shorts a week or two ago while he was running the hurdles. He had to kick his dong and nuts all the way to the finish line because it jumped right out of his shorts. And because of this newfound fame, he's been offered a modeling job with an underwear company, okay? Well, I'll tell you right now, you don't have to be hung like a Belgian plow elk, or you don't have to be a top-notch athlete to get yourself an underwear modeling career. There's a brand of drawers called Chubbies. You guys ever heard of them?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. No.
Where do you find Chubbies underwears?
Online.
Is it swimwear or underwear?
It's more like swimwear, but they have underwear too, and shirts as well.
I'm sorry, I screwed it up. It is swimwear. But they do sell drawers. Mm-hmm. Okay. You ran into them on the internet.
Yeah.
For yourself? Did you think, I'm getting a little chubby, I better find some new drawers and swim trunks for my new belly?
I've seen them online, and I recently got a shirt from Chubbies as a present for my wife.
Now, what's Jordan Max's connection? Because she posted this thing. Our former porn star that used to join the show, she's moved out of state, so we don't have her on anymore, unfortunately. But what, she has a connection to this somehow?
She saw it online and she thought of me, so she forwarded it to me, and she goes, well, you love football, and you know this could be something you could be interested in.
Oh, I thought she was promoting it herself.
No,
like she had something to do with it.
It was just like a gig she saw online, and she thought of me, and she goes, oh, this might be kind of funny for you guys, and she passed it along to us.
Okay,
Jordan
gotcha.
Max, our porn star friend, huh? I haven't heard that name out loud in a while.
I find that awesome that your wife bought you a shirt from this place, because I think if I would gift my husband something that says Chubbies on it, he might He'd be like, well, what are you trying to say? What are you talking about?
Your wiener.
My upper body or my lower? Are you rude?
Chubbies swimwear. This was also posted in the Twin Cities Theater community group on Facebook, so I don't know how I missed it.
Oh, yeah.
You're all
Top
over
contributor on that page.
Chubbies swimwear is specifically looking for regular dudes right here in the Twin Cities. Even if you got a little bit of a barrel, you got a little bit of fat rolling over the top of your drawers, like most of us. They're looking for a man with a regular build to model their swim trunks and their drawers. Anybody, 18 to 60 plus. They're casting for real guys with real energy. We always got to talk about the energy these days, don't we, Josh?
It's important.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
They say this is not about perfection. This is about personality. They don't mind if you have some of those tattoos. They don't mind if you've got what everyone, my God, I'm so worn out on this friggin' term. They don't mind if you have a dad bod. They don't mind if you have an alternative look. They want you to be an NFL fan. I guess they're going to try to find dudes with real bodies, average bodies, to represent all 32 NFL teams in some kind of an ad campaign. So here in town, if you are the sumbitch who is selected to model for Chubby Swim, you probably have to wear a Vikings hat or something.
Would you turn it down, Dana, if they offered you the gig? Because it's not a Bills hat?
Well, they need all 32, so I'll submit some photos in Bills gear.
But
that's not the question.
They say, sorry, man, we can only get you in as a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be fine to do that.
Yeah, you could use the money. We could all use the money.
Gosh, I just can't help but picturing you taking some mirror pics in a swimsuit.
Do you still look pretty good in your underwear, Josh? I mean, no one would know.
I've never seen myself in just my underwear.
Yeah, it does say you have to be comfortable shirtless, so you're out.
Yeah, there's no way.
You're not comfortable at all shirtless. You won't even get
I wish I could answer your question, but yeah, I don't remember the last time I've seen that look.
My God.
Never wore one bathing suit.
Duh.
Never.
Really?
Never once.
Not even when you were a kid, you didn't wear a silly little pair of swim trunks?
No,
it was always just cut
shorts.
Off jeans?
It was usually like shorts or something like that.
Well, that's kind of cool. So
that is cool. I never shop. I almost never go to a store, and my wife loves to, so she'll go.
She's the one who buys you your pants and your underwear.
Yeah, well, I take that back. I'll go to Sam's Club with her to get food or something like that, groceries. But outside of that, I don't really go shopping. But we went to Kohl's I wanted a nicer outfit to wear to Randy Shaver's charity event, and I noticed that.
You overdid it, by the way.
Well, I didn't overdo it. I'm trying to class it up. I'm trying to class it up. I mean, that place is it's changed a little bit, but I remember going to that thing going, my God, is everyone here on Wall Street? I felt so underdressed and I was embarrassed. But anyways, I noticed that the models they have, the pictures of people in the set, it's more like regular folks.
It is.
Yeah.
Which I don't go shopping enough to notice. So maybe this has been going on for a long time, but it's the first time even on the
quite
packages.
A while.
I love to go out to stores and whatnot. So I can tell you, it has been happening for a few years now.
Oh, it's been that long?
Yeah, where when you walk by the ladies' underwear section and they have the gals, the pictures of the gals in their drawers, yeah, there's more average-looking people now.
Even on I bought a package of T-shirts, white T-shirts, and even on that, it was just dudes that look like regular guys.
Yeah, I like a white T-shirt.
Yeah.
So tight I can barely breathe.
The white T-shirts I had were a little more yellowish, so I had to get a couple of them.
So, hey, fellers, if you're, if you're normal, you've put on a few pounds, maybe you've grown a little set of boobies.
I mean, it sounds like they'll even take skinny folks. Maybe you're a little too on the skinny side in some people's eyes.
Thank you for bringing that up. Good point. But sometimes guys will grow a little set of boobies, Whatever. Chubbies will take your pick. If you're comfortable in just a pair of swim trunks, hell, you could become their new spokesmodel, and by damn, the sky's the limit at that point.
Since they have they're not excluding any body type. That would kind of suck if you show up and you're like, one of the, I guess, bigger ones. And then there's the really skinny guys and like the jacked guys. I'd be like, like that wouldn't be a day maker at all.
I'm not
just a bunch of shirtless dudes and you're like the biggest one. I'd feel a little crappy about myself.
Oh,
Maybe that's.
I'd be like, can we have different areas? Can you put like us in like some closed off spaces, please?
It'd be kind of cool to be in a room though where the jack guys are the pariahs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Somebody's in shape. They're the outcasts.
Guy with the wax chest and six pack. Get out of here.
Look at you. I bet you work out.
Nobody wants to see that.
I'm not scared of those friggin' big steroid tigers. Just kick them right in the dick and then run like hell. They can't catch you. They're all blown up.
They don't do much cardio. It's all weights.
Their blood pressure is through the roof. They're not going to chase you down the sidewalk. You kick them in the D and you run like hell.
Grab his dick and twist it.
Oh.
They'll never get old.
Cripes.
I don't remember the last time I've been to a Wild game where I haven't heard somebody scream that.
Really?
I make sure I say it a couple times.
Do you?
Yeah, I love it. I can't get enough of it.
To the point where if I don't hear it someplace, like I'm going, geez, we're getting into the third period, nobody screamed this thing, I'll be disappointed. But luckily, somebody always comes through.
That's the current kick his ass Seabass?
I think so, yeah.
Well, thankfully, kick his ass Seabass has been, I hope, it sounds as if it's finally been eliminated.
Oh, I heard it at a restaurant the other day.
For Christ's sake.
There's a few dudes hanging out, getting a little rowdy, and one of them screamed it.
That's okay. It was just at hockey games. I got so tired of everyone turning to that line that I stopped going to Minnesota Wild games because of imbeciles who couldn't stop yelling kick his ass. So grab his D and twist it is the new...
Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
In the
and
old
Ashley,
days,
sounds like you've noticed the same thing.
Yeah.
I used to get into the slap shot quotes. Kill the bastard. Hit him with your purse. That was the other. We used to go.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
You had to be there. We got to take a break. You're a terrific crowd. We mentioned that Jungle Jane's going to be here a little bit later. Our next step will be the Stupid News Report, and we'll pounce on that in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
Mic drop. Hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridlin. It's raw.
Any single time that you left the wire, you could lose 4 guys.
It's unfiltered.
That was the most horrible screaming I'd ever heard. Taking a hit on the chin, you want to pay it back?
It's tough talk from the top minds in their field.
Would I choose to not do our duty as military fighting men? No, I would not make that decision, without question.
Mic drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Yeah. You know, a few minutes ago, we were telling you about a swim trunk and underwears brand by the name of Chubbies. They make swim trunks and drawers for bros. Are they bros only?
That's a good question. As far as I know, yes. But
That's what I always thought, but yeah, I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's all right to be bros only. Anyways, they're currently looking for models right here in the damned Twin Cities. And they don't mind if you've let your physique go to hell. You all right?
What was that?
I thought I had my mic off there.
Well, we
Obviously.
can confirm you did not.
It's like a sneeze cough.
It was kind of like a little bit of clear everything out, and let's go from there.
Yeah, that was weird. Mm-hmm. I got to say.
Here's a guy who might not make it. Chubbies is looking for regular-looking bros right here in town. You got a beer gut? Hell, you've earned it. They don't mind. So look into it, fellers. This could be your big break in the industry. Got a text message here, Josh. One of our listeners is curious. Will Chubbies take guys with trucker butt? Oh, I bet they don't mind if you have a trucker butt.
Yeah, for sure. I looked up their website when we were talking about it, and they had a little bit of everything. There's some guys with flat butts.
Yeah, I got a trucker butt. It's genetics. I'm the son of a truck driver.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
No ass to speak of. Chubbies.
I will say there were a lot more ripped dudes on Chubby's website than I expected.
Yeah, wow.
Does it kind of seem like it's mostly ripped dudes?
Yes.
And then a couple of normal guys?
With very large thighs, too.
I'm starting to second guess myself a little bit here.
Not to be
Oh, my gosh, sorry.
What?
There's even, like, So there's a picture of a man modeling swim trunks, and he's a little bit of a bigger gentleman. And if you hover over the picture, it kind of shows you different styles of swim trunks. And when you hover over the picture, it goes right to a dude with like an 8-pack.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised after all the conversation.
Oh, they even have a kid swim trunks, too. For all you moms and dads out there.
I'm telling you, they got every damn thing over there at Chubbies. Not to be mistaken with cruising Chubbies.
I've been there before.
Yeah, me too.
The legendary Boom Boom Room over there in Wisco, Summers. What the hell were you doing at cruising Chubbies, Josh?
I thought I was there with you.
No,
Maybe
we wouldn't.
it was somebody else.
I was only there once, and it was one of the drunkest nights of my sad so-called adult life. I was a disgusting mess that night.
It was a work thing, like with work people. It wasn't like an official work promotion, but I was with some work people.
Out there in the Wisconsin Dells neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken.
I've heard a lot of stories about that place.
I woke up with my underwear on backwards after a night at Cruisin' Chubbies.
Where were you? Were you at the club when you woke?
What?
Where when you woke up? Where were you?
In Cross Plains, Wisconsin.
Gotcha.
It was a stop. Cruisin' Chubbies was a halfway point between here and Cross Plains, Wisconsin, which is out by Madison. That's where I woke up with my drawers on backwards.
Working 24/7. Jesus said he's got the beer gut to be a model. It sounds like for cruising, or not Cruising Chubbies, but Chubbies.
Good for you.
It'd be cool just to say you're an underwear model or a swimsuit model when you're just an average dude, you know?
I know what you're saying.
I've heard average dudes make that joke before, that they're an underwear model, or that they could no longer be an underwear model. But this cruising, or gosh, I keep saying that now we brought it up, but this Chubbies, a lot less Chubbies on their website.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're doing this thing.
Maybe they're swinging the pendulum to the other side.
They're just, they're breaking away from the norm for a week or two, and they're going to try to drag in some guys with beer bellies. All right, this is going to be a bit of a harsh opener.
Oh, boy.
For some of yous. It's a little early for crotch rot. For some of yous. That's probably what you'll tell yourself or holler at your radio. That it's a little early for crotch rot. But that's where we're going with this. At least that's what we called it when we were kids. Crotch rot.
We called it swamp crotch.
Yeah. Now, apparently...
Crotch rot was like an STD or something in our group of friends.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's where I thought this was going, but it's just what?
Well, yeah, that's... We'll find out. Apparently a lady, was so sweaty and rotten down there. Betwixt her legs. That she got flagged by airport security.
Oh, no. I didn't know women got that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh.
I've never heard a girl say, "Oh, I've got swamp crotch."
Oh.
Just recently when I was at the hospital, they put you in a little wheelchair to, make sure you don't drop a baby on the floor. And I got up and she goes, did your water break or are you just a sweater? I was like, I'm just a sweater. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Really? You were sweating that bad?
I was a little nervous, but yeah, I thought, thank you very much, though. Thank you for asking that in front of my husband. too.
Cubby, you didn't know that gals got a case of the old.
No.
Really?
I guess.
You never had one experience in your life where you said, "Oh, Jesus Christ."
Somebody's never been to Wee Fest, apparently.
What goes on?
Did you have an encounter with a smelly girl at Wee Fest?
It was just, it's just a very hot summer festival.
Well, yeah,
so-
that's not the place to be dishing out oral sex.
Right.
Did you put a girl up on your shoulders?
What happened? Tell us about the smelly girl at Wee Fest.
Oh, I just in general, just everybody just stinks up there.
That
It wasn't like a specific encounter necessarally. It's just everybody's just sweaty and
Okay.
gross. Men and
I thought
women
maybe you
altogether.
went down on a gal in the outhouse or something like that.
No.
Thank God.
Yeah.
The outhouse. Kenny Chesney playing in the background.
Yeah. This gal was so spoiled down there with the sweat and the smell that she set off the airport security alarms at 2 different airports. And she had to be given a pat down. And then, of course, she upped and printed a story about the experience and posted it for all the 8th graders and fully grown dorks on social media. Because, hey, whatever it takes to be a somebody on social media. She's thinking, even if I become famous for being swamp crotch lady, at least I'm famous for something. So, this is apparently a real thing that happened. The gal said now, what did she say? She said she found out the wet, stinky, and hard way that excessive crotch sweat or too much sweat anywhere else on your beautiful body can trigger the security scanner thingy thing at the airport. Do you know the security scanner thingy thing? I think I know what I'm talking about.
I have a hard time completely believing that because of the amount I sweat on a regular basis. You think I would flag one of those, especially at the airport? I don't know why I'm so nervous.
I don't think you sweat as much as you think you do.
I don't think you understand how much I sweat.
But
if you have people commenting on it.
I bring my deodorant and perfume in my work backpack every day.
But I've never seen you develop a mist on your forehead. I've never seen a trickle of sweat fall down your face.
Thank you. It was just right before our vacation. I was sitting here and I was waiting for you guys to start making fun of me because I was dabbing my face.
Oh, I noticed.
With a towel.
Yeah, you were doing that. And you're like peeling your clothes off you every once in a while.
I mean, I'm sure in your current condition it must be miserable.
Yeah.
But you have proclaimed yourself to be this terrible sweater for years. And all I'm saying is you've never given me that impression, not even once.
Oh, well, that's good to hear.
Where, I know
like
men
that.
and
Thank
women.
you.
I know men and women in my life who have to constantly be wiping their brow. I mean, the sweat pours down there. You must just sweat in spots that, thankfully, I can't see.
Yeah, it's mostly the armpits.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't wear I have to be very careful about what colored shirts I wear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you sweat it out pretty good at the state fair a couple times.
Yeah, I used to be one of those kids that because of my sweating, I wanted to hide the sweat stains. So then I'd wear a sweatshirt in like 90-degree weather, and that's not going to help anything. But I thought I just don't want people to see it.
So here's a gal. Again, she set off the security scanners at 2 separate airports because of how sweaty and rotten she was downstairs skis. And after she told her story on social media, other folks commented and confirmed that their swamp crotch has caused issues at airport security, too. Mud butt. We're getting all kinds of texts here. Swamp ass, nut butter. Are there any other terms that I'm missing, Josh?
There's some I don't think we can say.
Oh!
Yeah, those are the best ones,
I know,
too.
I know. Some words for if a woman gets swamp crotch, kind of, I don't think we could say.
Well, that can happen. Word is there's a book out there, Summers, called 101 Pat Downs, an undercover look at airport security and the TSA. The author is a college professor, if that means anything to you, and she confirmed that sweat really can set off the airport security machines. Now, this makes no sense to me, but I'm going to go ahead anyway. The college professor lady said that this phenomenon has to do with millimeter wave technology and how the waves bounce off of water. And if you understand that, then you're better off than I am. For the record, you can carry Gold Bond and other genital drying powders with you on an airplane. It just has to be like Josh enjoys his beer, 12 ounces or less.
I tried one of those powders and I didn't like it. It made a paste.
I've also tried it before, and I didn't think it was worth the trouble.
I must have done something wrong, because when we brought this up the last time, plenty of people said it's awesome.
You should try the spray. I like the Gold Bond spray.
Oh, I didn't even know there was this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now, the article continued on with some life tips on how to avoid swamp crotch. I wasn't able to, what's the word I'm looking for, gather that information. Because I don't know how to run a computer. Josh, you wouldn't have happened to have stumbled across any of those life tips on how to avoid swamp crotch, did you?
They talk about switching out fabrics for breathable and moisture-wicking ones.
Absolutely.
Cotton.
Great idea. I have done that with my underwears. I've turned to buying mostly the almost see-through, what was the term you used, wicking?
Yeah. Wicks the sweat away.
Very thin material in my underwears now.
Breathable, too.
Breathable. That's another word I read on the label. And it has worked wonders for me.
Yeah, they mentioned loose-fitting clothes from natural fabrics like cotton and linen to maximize air circulation. Change your clothes after sweating. They said the longer you leave them on, the longer you make an environment for infections and rashes.
Sure.
They had the powder again. Antiperspirant in those areas.
Oh, what?
Like, is it Lumi?
Yeah.
The one you can put on your
with that
crotch and that
wildly,
super hot local lady.
Very wildly attractive
Very
lady
sexy.
that does the ads. And we're being serious. For whatever reason, Josh and I are turned on gangbusters by that lady who talks about rolling deodorant on her ass cheeks and under her boobs.
I'm mesmerized
Yes.
anytime she's on TV.
I am too.
And I think about you two whenever she's on TV as well.
Same here.
I love her to the point where I'm afraid she's going to tell us to stop talking about her.
The cease and desist comes through.
There's just something about her. And I'm hoping she doesn't have kids that live in the area. And then talking to your doctor is the other thing they recommend to avoid swamp crotch this summer.
Doc, you got to help me.
Have you been concerned enough where you've asked your doctor, Ashley, what's going on?
Oh, yeah. They
What do
kind of
say?
just dismiss it, to be honest.
Like it's not that
they're
big a
like,
deal?
actually, one doctor said that's great. Like, that means your body is working exceptionally because it's good to be able to sweat, I guess, to that degree. I don't know. They said it's better to be able to sweat, or better to sweat too much than not sweat at all. I've tried the prescription deodorant, all that.
There's prescription deodorant?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I thought this is going to be it. Life-changing. No.
Now, I know I see on my television a lot of ads, it seems these days, for sprays that you can spray down the back of your pants. You can spray it directly on your unit. Is it Marshawn Lynch, I think, he's all over my television, at least advertising this. There's all kinds of ways. I knew a gal years ago who changed her underwears. I mean, this is an expensive way to go about it. She would change her underwears 4 times a day because she had a real concern about always being as fresh as a daisy down there. So she went through drawers the way Dana goes through retro video games, just cranking through them 4 a day. She'd change them at work, in the car.
Yeah, back when I wore underwear.
What? Oh, my God.
Is this just because you're pregnant or even before that?
Even before that. Unless I've been told by the husband, like, hey, you need to wear underwear with that. I'm like, all right. Yeah, you're right.
You don't want to be flashing the unit at the play.
Yeah, exactly.
At the grade school play.
But I used to do that too, just change them out frequently because, just so much sweat.
I would need to really up my amount of underwear I have in my drawer to change them 4 times a day.
Yeah, that's like a week's worth of.
Exactly.
I have to do laundry every day.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying Botox in the armpits works.
Yeah, I've heard of.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I've heard of that working for a lot of people. Yeah, but I get scared.
That would have to be a real problem for me to get Botox. I would have to be to where you folks couldn't even sit in the same room with me. You know what I'm saying? That sounds quite dramatic to me.
It's pricey, too. It's very pricey.
I'm the worst at telling if someone had Botox.
I'm sorry?
I'm the worst at telling if someone had Botox in their face or whatever. I can never tell.
I think I can tell pretty easily.
Yeah, I've got my wife can pick it out of a crowd. I can't. And I've known people where I see them one day and they're like, "Oh, I got Botox yesterday." I can't tell the difference whatsoever.
I'm the same way, Josh.
I'm from Wayzata. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
See it all the time. But never once, huh, Josh? Never once did you have a girl where she might have been a little.
Well, to me, that's different. I just thought just pure sweat. I wasn't really thinking about. Because like crotch rot to me would be something gross going on versus just like things get real sweaty down there.
Yeah, definitely.
So the answer
is... I've had something that might have been a little more higher on the spice scale. A couple of extra Scoville units.
Sure. Sure.
I hope no one can ever say that about me. that would hurt.
I don't know what the hell they're doing most days in New York City. I've never been over that way.
Outside of the 9/11 memorial, I have no real desire to go.
Well, my wife's trying to talk me into going there with her because she says it's great.
I mean, I've definitely heard that from, I've got family members that love it.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a lot of people, difficult to get places. I mean, this is from a guy who's never been there, ever. Those are just my impressions.
Well, I did.
Yeah, it seems overwhelming.
A lot of people. But my wife says I'd love it, and I probably would. I'm not necessarily drawn to big cities, lots of people. Not my favorite thing, but she says I'd love it anywhere because there's always something to do. There's always something going. And I probably would like it in the end. I guess I have been to New York City once, and that was an airport stop off, but it became quite an adventure where we were flying home from Ireland. My God, it was just so miserable. All I wanted to do was just, get on the plane and drug myself. And
Well, Ireland did that to you. You had a rough time in Ireland.
Ireland kind of sucked. But you know what I mean? It's a long plane ride. From Ireland to New York City, it was like 6 or 7 or 8 hours. And then we had to get off the plane. You know that gimmick. Get on a new plane. We still had to go to Detroit and then Minneapolis because the
layovers can suck.
Radio station was too cheap to get us any direct flight. You know that whole thing.
Yuck.
Everyone's played that game. So we land in New York City, and I'm just not interested anymore in travel, and I've still got 2 legs to go. And I don't know why I walked up to the counter to ask a question about our next flight. I don't know what it might have been because it was a long time ago. And the airport person looked at my ticket and said, "Well, you're at the wrong airport." I was at JFK. Is that the big one in New York City? Right?
LaGuardia.
Oh,
was another big one.
Okay, that's where I'm going with this. JFK. I think I have that right. I was at one of the big airports in New York City, and they said, "You're not flying out of this airport to Detroit and then Minneapolis. You're flying out of LaGuardia." So I said, "What?" So I had to, as fast as I could, grab a cab to go to LaGuardia. And that cab driver was breaking every law possible to get us there on time. It was a stressful and awful situation. But as we were ripping through this portion of New York City, Josh, it was just like the opening of All in the Family, where they have that street scene with all the houses. Do you remember the All? So all I kept thinking of, the band Glenn Miller played songs that made the hit parade. So New York City. What I have for you here today, a statue that was propped up in New York City, and it's freaking folks out. It's a mouth, foot, penis leg. At least that's what it looks like to me, a mouth, foot, penis leg.
Kind of makes me nauseated looking at it.
Is this up on our website?
Yes.
Okay, folks, you got to go to 93x.com if you want to understand this nonsense. It's a mouth, foot, penis leg. And if you're unlucky enough to walk past it right there in New York City, it will splooge at you. It says here it's legitimately called the Foot Fountain. By God, it's a new 10-foot-tall piece of weird art somebody stacked up in a place called Highline Park. It's a pink leg cut off around the knee. Remember, I said it's 10 foot tall. It's covered with mouths and tongues with a giant foot at the bottom. But it also looks like a big old rod.
This is a penis.
It's horrible looking.
It is.
I mean, this is... How did this get approved to put somewhere? It looks like a little kid did it.
This is art.
And I don't want to get arrived on by a thing that looks like a penis right there in the middle of the road.
Arrived on.
Nobody does. There's a contraption nearby the statue that people can sit on and pedal like you're on a bicycle, and it makes the top of the sculpture squirt. If you pedal hard enough, the mouth, foot, penis, leg statue will explode all over you and your family. And New Yorkers are running for their lives. Word is this abomination is going to sit there in the park until May of next year. So check that out on our website. It's disgusting to look at. It's really unnerving. What was the word you used, Ashley? It
makes me nauseated.
Nauseated.
Well, if your wife drags you to New York, maybe get a picture next to it. Wear a raincoat.
Sure, yeah. Here's a guy who stole $100,000 worth of bull spuzz.
Missed opportunity. I could have gotten to the game.
Yeah, you were offered a spot in the bull semen trading industry.
A friend of mine, or a family member of mine, said, "Hey, I'm getting into bull semen," and I said, "Well, good for you. You know, it's important to have hobbies." And he's like, "No, I'm going to start investing in it as a money-making opportunity. You interested?" And I passed. I didn't know there was so much money in bull semen.
How'd it go for him? Do you know? Did you ever follow up?
I mean, he hasn't really said much about it, so I'm guessing, and his lifestyle hasn't changed. So either he's a great saver or things didn't work out for him.
A guy in Australia who stole $100,000 worth of bull spuzz. That's a hell of a load right there, $100,000 worth. It's all very technical from here on out in the story, discussing the finer points of the cattle business. I won't put you through all that. This here bull jid thief, when the cops finally pounced on him, they found a storage tank plumb full of bull butter.
Yuck.
And this guy is out on bail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. As soon as I step on the scene, I hear the hoochies screaming. I believe that was Dr. Dre and Tupac. The song was called California Love. This guy is out on bail, waiting on his court date. Don't you know?
Oh, that's just so much.
That's a lot.
I don't need to see that.
No, I
quantity
wouldn't
of it.
Josh, would you want to be the lead detective who cracked open that, what's the word I used a minute ago? Cracked open that, what did I say?
You're talking about just like the case? Or like the actual...
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to open that up.
The barrel, whatever I said a minute ago. They cracked open the barrel.
I don't like that.
You
I
know,
don't like
tipped
picturing
over.
this.
Oh,
No, I don't like picturing this at all.
Oh, I bet that would hit you right in the mug.
I bet it smells so bad, dude.
And then, like, the second lead detective walks up and kind of runs into you. And, like, your hand accidentally
No.
Or a little bit of it splashes up onto your coat. Oh, come on.
It's like when you open up like a spaghetti jar or something and it splashes you a little.
Jeez.
There's that pop.
Yep.
Did you just get back from the beach? What the hell's that smell?
Barrel, whatever word I used. Okay, real quick. This is pretty gross here, too. Well, maybe not for some of you. A story out of Texas. It's one of your typical low-life shoplifter scumbags. A lady tried to walk smooth out of a supermarket with a cart full of stolen goods, stolen foods. Here's where the gross for some but not for others gimmick comes into play. In her cart of stolen groceries was $150 worth of beef tongues.
We used to have that. My dad,
And you ate it?
Well, I didn't have a choice, but yeah, my dad would make beef tongue.
No, we never had that. I'm not a picky eater at all. But still, you'd probably have to put a weapon to my back to get me to eat the tongue of any animal.
Yep.
But some folks, like my dad, when he was still alive, he wouldn't think twice about such a thing.
Oh, my dad loved all that stuff.
Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe
Pig's feet, beef tongue.
Yeah, I like, it's just the tongue.
This is a rough, stupid news today.
It has been kind of gross.
For a pregnant woman, I bet.
Yeah, I've thrown up in my mouth once.
I mean, I've eaten balls. You watch me eat balls.
Yeah, I won't. I'm
Yeah, but
not
we
a
have
picky
ranch.
eater, but yeah, I won't eat genitals.
So you wouldn't eat balls,
No.
but you ate the tongue.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I just have a specific problem with the tongue. I'll eat any part of an animal carcass. Hell, a hot dog is one of my favorite foods, and we all know it's a complete mystery what the hell they pack into those damn things. There's something about the tongue, I wouldn't do it. This stupid lady who thought she could walk out of her neighborhood grocery without paying for $150 worth of stuff, including edible animal tongue.
No, just take it.
What's that?
I said, just take it. It's fine.
They should have just given it to her. I doubt they were selling any of it. She flipped out when the cops showed up. They had to baton her into submission. And then her husband showed up. He also got squirrely, so the cops had to knock the living hell out of him, too.
This beef tongue looks so dry, Josh.
It looks terrible. Looks terrible. You know what else
Yeah,
the
it
lady...
kind of looks rotten, too.
It does.
Yeah.
At least the one in the picture.
You know what else the lady had in her cart, along with a big, fat, cold, and veiny beef tongue? You know what else?
What?
A 12-pack of Dr. Pepper Zero.
I love Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
I'm not a Dr. Pepper Zero
This
fan.
woman has no taste at all.
No.
I mean, everybody loves Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper Zero? What, are you trying to live forever?
Maybe she's going to, marinate it in there or something.
Oh, yeah. Some people do that with, a can of Coke.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't want any calories in my Dr. Pepper, but I'm going to eat a frickin' beef tongue? What kind of walking contradiction, wacky psycho?
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Left side off the glove of Perdomo. Hit number 2,000 of his career for Manny Machado as he continues to build on his resume towards the Hall.
I don't know. He comes off like kind of a dick, Manny Machado. Not that I dislike him, because he's scrappy, too. He's like the kind of guy that'll fight. So I'm kind of on the fence with Manny Machado. How much time do we have, Josh, for me to discuss my feelings on Manny Machado?
Take as much as you want.
Kind of a dick, but he's...
You like that?
Yeah.
About some people.
Yeah.
If they do
Isn't
it
your
right.
motto, let's be dicks?
That is
Yeah.
his motto.
That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about, is he kind of comes off like a dick, but I kind of like dicks on my baseball team or football team, hockey, basketball. You're right. One of my mottos is let's be dicks, so... I'm not sure where to go with Manny Machado. Great player. 2,000 career hits now. He accomplished that last night. If he signed up with the Twins, I wouldn't be pissed off. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. Hey, for the first time in quite a while, we're going to wrap with Glenn Perkins at 7:30 to talk Twins baseball because of this and that and our vacation and other things. We haven't had a chance to talk to Glenn, and we really like Glenn.
I've missed talking to him.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. We're looking forward to... Glenn will tell you all about this Twins-Cubs series that starts tonight over there at Target Field. Before we go, on the topic of the Twins, and we can get into this with Glenn, I think it's pretty cool. Not that I'm a massive fan of the home run derby, but it's pretty cool that we'll get to see Byron Buxton take a crack at it.
I was very excited to see that yesterday.
I just hope he doesn't hurt himself.
Oh, my gosh. That would be awful.
A few guys have hurt themselves, because you're just swinging your balls off. Trying your hardest to hit the ball as hard as...
Maybe he can just bunt. It's all right. You don't got to try. You don't got to try, man.
I'd like to
you
hear
got
Berman
there.
call
It's
that
okay.
one. Back. Oh, ground.
Yeah.
Can't get to any backs.
Whatever keeps him safe.
Byron Buxton, he's agreed to perform in that, home run.
Careful.
Glenn Perkins and Randy Shaver You want Buck to be careful?
Yeah.
We all do.
We've heard he might succumb to some injuries from time to time.
That's exactly right. Glenn Perkins and Randy Shaver will join us in about a half hour, but I would recommend you don't go anywhere because Josh is always entertaining news reporters coming up next.
93X
Half-assed morning show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
Hello, my loves. It's Lala Kent. Yes, that Lala. And if you're not listening to the Give Them Lala podcast, here's what you're missing out on.
I stayed with my two kids. Mom and Kristen shared a room, and you and Landon shared a room. What the hell is going on? A lesbian couple, a gay couple, and then this
random woman with two kids.
So weird, but to me, it's the most common thing. This is my brother, his best friend, and my mom and her best friend. This is just how we roll. This is called the pod, okay?
Give Them Lala. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Isn't that a religious show? With all the Jesus and Sheezus talk?
Oh, hell no.
Just kidding. They suck.
93X.
Bro, chill, bro. Bro, chill, bro.
A man was charged with attempted murder following an argument at a gas station, which led to gunfire on a garbage truck. The 46-year-old bar owner ran into two men during a morning gas station stop, including one he knew. When the acquaintance noticed the man smelled of alcohol, he suggested he go home out of concern. That comment sparked an argument, and one of the men called him silly, which he took as a sign of great disrespect.
He's so silly.
After the exchange, he got into his SUV and followed the two men who had returned to their garbage truck for work. Dashcam footage captured the tense moments as one of the men shouted, "Chill, bro!" But the bro wouldn't chill. He kept chasing. During the pursuit, he pulled a handgun and fired several shots at the garbage truck, hitting one of the workers in the arm. That chase ended when the SUV crashed into the garbage truck, ejecting the passenger who suffered non-life-threatening injuries, thankfully. The driver fled the scene but was later arrested.
Guy was drunk, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like, he just spent too much time at his own bar.
Drunk and silly.
Yeah, and again, the acquaintances knew him and said, hey, you look like you probably shouldn't be driving. Maybe you should go home. And that set this off.
I've always found that really interesting over my lifetime where you try to help out a drunk, Hey, man, you've had a few. Maybe you ought to just get out of here. And they react as if you've just punched them in the testicles as hard as you can.
It is
trying to help you out, you angry-ass drunk piece of garbage.
Yeah. I wonder what they hear in their condition.
Right, exactly.
Where it's obvious concern for the person, knowing the risk you're putting, obviously yourself, but certainly other people.
It's just anybody that gets between them and their hooch is an enemy.
I think it has a lot to do with the embarrassment of it.
I'm sure you're right. Yeah, I'm sure you're right. Usually, Taco Tuesday takes its toll on toilets. But if you're in law enforcement, please exercise extra caution today. The last two Taco Tuesdays have proven especially unpleasant for cops. 2 weeks ago today, around 11:09 p.m., a 41-year-old woman rear-ended a patrol car at about 60 miles an hour because her face was buried in a taco. Been there. The deputy was heading north at about 60 miles per hour on a Wisconsin interstate when she saw a vehicle rapidly approaching. She tried to speed up, but the vehicle slammed into her cruiser. The driver admitted she was distracted, not paying attention because she was eating Taco Bell. She showed no signs of impairment and denied using alcohol or drugs.
What? That's such an easy food to eat while driving. What are you doing?
Maybe she had a lot of toppings. I don't know. She was really into it, I guess. Taco Tuesday last week was also a rough one for our friends in law enforcement across the border. A 21-year-old woman in Wisconsin threw a burrito bowl at a police officer after being told to clean it up from the ground where she threw it. Last Taco Tuesday, about 10:20 p.m., officers on patrol saw her drop the burrito bowl in the street. When they kindly asked her to pick it up, she launched it at him instead, flinging fixings and spattering salsa on their squad. From there, she resisted arrest and even kicked one of the officers in the guac and balls.
God dang.
She's facing charges for disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and battery to a law enforcement officer. Yeah, I don't know what's going on Tuesdays the last couple of weeks in Wisconsin, but they got to ease it back. A 71-year-old Florida man broke into his upstairs neighbor's apartment wearing nothing but his underwear and pepper sprayed the neighbor in the face while he slept, all over a noise complaint.
You can't wait till the guy's awake to give him a load of pepper spray in the mug? Well, what a sissy-ass move that is.
That's usually when I attack due to cowardice.
Yeah.
That's the safest time for me, when they're completely unconscious.
Completely out cold.
The victim said he was napping when a loud banging at his front door jolted him awake. By the time he opened his eyes, his downstairs neighbor, described as wearing only tighty-whities, was standing over him and sprayed him directly in the face with what turned out to be pepper spray.
Come on.
Officers on the scene even reported feeling irritation in the bedroom air consistent with lingering pepper spray residue. The downstairs neighbor, who'd previously filed noise complaints against the victim, initially denied everything. But he never went upstairs, he said, and he's never used any pepper spray. However, police found 2 canisters sitting by his front door. One had clear residue on the nozzle, like it had just been used. Officers also noticed the man was still shirtless and pantsless when they arrived, matching exactly what the description from the victim. After a bit more questioning, the 71-year-old admitted he had ongoing issues with the neighbor and said if police didn't do something about the noise, he'd do a lot more than just assault and pepper that neighbor. He said he'd hurt him.
Oh, that's smart to say to the cops.
And he said he'd even possibly use a gun.
Oh.
What?
That was
gun.
That was enough for him to be arrested and charged with burglary and assault.
Josh, whatever happened to breaking into your neighbor's home in the middle of the night in just your underwear and then waking them up for a fist fight?
Yeah, those days are gone.
That was a gentleman way to do it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to those days?
That's when our grandparents had honor. I'm not going to put on any clothes, and I'm going to kick your ass once you wake up. A 23-year-old woman from Tennessee is facing charges after taking the eviction process into her own hands when a family wouldn't leave their apartment. According to an arrest warrant, the woman was trying to force out a family, which included a 4-year-old child. When they refused to leave, she called police, but officers told her she'd need to go through the proper civil eviction process. Instead of following that route, she reportedly went to the store and bought a bunch of bug foggers. Then, with the family still inside the apartment, she released about 16 of them. The child began coughing, had trouble breathing, and had to be rushed to the hospital. The Environmental Protection Agency is clear on this. No one should be inside a home once a fogger is set off. People and pets are supposed to stay out for at least 2 to 4 hours afterward, and typically just one fogger is enough for a 25 by 25-foot room. Again, she used 16.
Jeez.
Oh.
The EPA said breathing spray mists is harmful. A safe use of those products require everyone, including pets, leave the treated space.
So that was her way of getting the folks out of there.
Yeah, I mean, it worked temporarily. Now she has a new residence behind bars. She was arrested last week. In further bug-related news, an unusual bee attack in France left 24 people injured, including 3 in critical condition. A swarm stung passerby over the course of about 30 minutes on Sunday morning. Emergency responders treated the victims on site while authorities established a security perimeter until the bees calmed the F down. Officials suggested the incident may have been triggered by a threat to nearby beehives, possibly from invasive hornets, causing the bees to become unusually aggressive.
Yeah, it's always only a matter of time with those damn bees.
Oh, I hate them so much. I mean, I know that like some of them are good. We need them for the environment and stuff, but they can stay away from me.
There's no such thing as the environment.
Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
Yep.
Well, you can believe what you want to believe.
A 38-year-old former employee of a hemp shop in Red Bank, Tennessee is facing several charges after police say he went on a rampage after getting fired. Caught on video, storming into his former workplace, he spewed threats like, "I don't give an F. I've been to prison. I effing stab people."
Oh.
He said those things while tearing apart displays and trashing the store before hacking the company's Facebook page. Police arrested Christopher Guest Saturday, June 28th, in connection with the incident, which took place exactly 1 month earlier at Snapdragon Hemp. According to the store's owner, guests had been let go over the phone after numerous complaints from customers, coworkers, and even store managers, all saying guests had been disrespectful, confrontational, and they said they no longer wanted to have guest relations. So he was fired and told not to come back to the store. Apparently, however, that change in employment status didn't sit so well with guests because he showed up anyway. The uninvited guest pulled into the store's parking lot, taking up 4 spaces, and stormed inside. Footage showed him immediately knocking over a beverage display. He then turned to the people in the store and shouted, "They fired my ass for walking around here saying I'm going to kill people." Well, yeah, that's kind of what happened.
What?
A moment later, he added, "I'm waiting for them to get here so I can whoop every one of their goddamn asses," quote unquote. Shortly after, the owner started getting strange alerts on his Facebook app. He believes that guests hacked into the store's Facebook account and locked out all other Snapdragon employees so they couldn't do anything about it. The store's profile picture had been changed to a picture of the store owner and his fiancée along with their home address. Even more disturbing, there was a post of a man being shot, which was superimposed with the store owner's face and full name edited onto the image, alongside the caption, "See what you made me do?"
Made me do.
Oh, my gosh.
Police say the entire incident was caught on video, and he's facing several charges.
Did you see the photo, Josh?
Of the guy?
Yeah, or of like where he put...
The Facebook post?
Yes,
no,
sorry.
I saw the mugshot.
I would love to see his Photoshop capabilities.
Like maybe it's a talent that he's not explored enough, or he's probably terrible at it.
It's just the worst thing you've ever seen.
Look at what you made me do.
Yeah, he is. There's absolutely nothing he could have done about it. This is other people's fault.
Look at you.
A friend of mine's wife, her Facebook just got hacked. My wife was showing me her like a post that it was very sad, saying, "Hey, my sister is going through a lot of trouble. She's got a lot of trouble. We have to put her in a facility." And they were selling like an incredible amount of items. And I thought, how much stuff does one family have? Mm-hmm. And what terrible news. But it was a hack. I don't know what the purpose was, unless maybe you click on something and try and buy it and they get your information.
That's disgusting.
F me.
Yeah. Is that a common one?
I've seen that one happen before, too. Yeah, where they're selling like a car for like pennies on the dollar, and you can PayPal them or Venmo them for the car, and obviously there's no car for sale.
Yep. Or I've had I get a message from one of my Facebook friends saying that they're in a tough time. Can I borrow $20-$30? And then that's not them. Somebody just hacked into their account.
Yeah, so that was news to me. I mean, my wife must have seen something like that because she said, this is almost looks like a hack. But they had some really cool stuff on there. I wanted one of the generators.
Did you? Yeah.
I bet it was a good deal.
Were you going camping or something?
No, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to have one,
Oh.
That's one of those where if you need it, I bet you're really glad you have it.
Yeah.
A 32-year-old driver truly believed he discovered the ultimate loophole in the justice system. Just hit the gas and assumed police wouldn't dare give chase. He was wrong. The Monroe County, Wisconsin Sheriff's Office posted on its Facebook page about a recent traffic stop, which ended with a confused man attempting to flee from police. June 28th, 9:20 p.m., authorities received a call about a vehicle driving without headlights. After they pulled that vehicle over, the driver suddenly took off at ridiculous speed. Eventually, officers deployed a tire deflation device, causing the vehicle to lose control and veer into a ditch. Due to his reckless speed, he apparently didn't understand why police kept pursuing him. The driver reportedly asked, "Why didn't you guys just stop chasing me at 120 miles per hour?" To which they responded, that's not how this works. Apparently, he thought if he hit 120, they just stopped. Mm-hmm. The misinformed motorist was arrested and booked on multiple felonies.
Yeah, he read something that wasn't entirely true.
I mean, there's certainly plenty of departments that have no chase policies. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's easing up certain places, but they'll still try with radio and whatnot, call ahead, and they got the guy.
Yeah, their job is to get you.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And they will get you.
North Carolina residents are being warned to keep an eye out for a naked man with wood. Exactly a week ago, about 2:30 in the afternoon, police were called about a suspicious person acting strangely. When they arrived, a man and woman told them a naked guy had come at them with a wooden post and tried to rob them. The man said he had just gotten out of his car and locked it when the suspect demanded he drop everything and hand over the keys. He did what he was told, and that's when the nudist nut job clobbered him with his wood. Then the nude attacker turned his attention to a woman eating lunch in her car. He hit her in the arm, dragged her out, and tried to drive off with her vehicle.
Oh, my gosh.
However, with even fewer brain cells than his lack of clothes, the naked carjacker couldn't figure out how to get the car out of park, so he ran. Police found him hiding in a nearby storage room and took him into custody.
Man, that just extra sucks because, she's probably eating in her car because she just wants to be left alone. God, just ruining that 30 minutes she has.
Having a piss poor day.
Yeah.
You just want to have your garbage lunch. Yeah.
Drafting Jesus said his parents almost, quote, bought an ATV from a cousin on Facebook. The scammer wanted a down payment, but luckily they're too old to figure out Zelle.
Oh, thank God.
Old enough to fall for a scam, but too old. Or excuse me, yeah, that age worked both ways for him.
Yeah, scammers got to find that sweet spot where you're old enough to, think it's a good deal, be dumb enough to think it's a good deal, but still be young enough to be able to use the payment apps online.
Yeah, dude. If scammers tried to come at my mom, they would be so frustrated.
I tell you, no one's getting any money out of me online.
What do you mean you don't even know how to use Amazon?
That's fantastic.
I don't know how to use Amazon.
I'm glad they didn't get taken. That's a good story. Featuring Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Kirk Cousins, Quarterback Season 2 is now on Netflix. Blending the questionable fashion sense of Joe Cool with the charm of a cold cash-wielding dorky dad, the series once again offers an inside look at the NFL season through the eyes of 3 quarterbacks, highlighting their lives off the field.
Do you think you'll watch the 3 quarterbacks?
No, I watched Season 1 and ended up just kind of skipping everything but the Kirk Cousins stuff.
Well, I would have went in the opposite direction.
Well, he became like a lovable loser. Maybe I shouldn't call him a loser.
He is a loser.
But he was the star of that.
He was the breakout star. People were, kind of like to see that other side of him.
Yeah, nationally, he was the favorite of that. But I think I'll probably skip this one.
Who was it again? Captain Death Rocks, Joe Burrow, and who?
And Jared Goff.
I wonder if they'll go into detail about his father.
Whose father?
Mahomes.
Is
that? Oh.
Well, he's not on it, but maybe they'll reference him.
Why did I?
Well, he was on the last one.
Okay. That's probably what happened to me there.
Janel Klein. Janel Klein's just walking in the door right now. She loves Joe Burrow. So, Janelle, are you going to watch Quarterback Season 2 with Joe Burrow?
I didn't know he was doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's out. Oh, did you see the way she was shaking her? Yeah, she will be watching Quarterback Season 2, it appears.
She's all giggly now since you brought up Joe Burrow.
Kevin Bacon is 67 today. Congratulations to B-Rad G Malibu Baby Jesus, 18 months clean and sober as of this morning.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Minus the ganja, he said. He said, loves the ganja.
Oh, California sober.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Congratulations on being California soldier, sober. To B-Rad G Malibu Baby Jesus. And that's 93X News.
And now a Minnesota Twins update. We're talking Twins with former All-Star closer, Glenn Perkins.
Glenn Perkins.
On 93X. Play ball!
Yeah, the 2-2, a swinging a fly ball, left center field. Evan Carter going back. He will turn. Back it goes and gone. Byron Buxton with a tape measure shot to left center field. One swing of the bat, and the Twins have a 3-2 lead. 479 feet demolished by the buck truck.
Wow. I mean, what else could you say? Might be the furthest ball I've ever seen hit in this park.
There's Glenn Perkins giggling his ass off at that Buxton dong from a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Hello, Randy Shaver.
Good morning.
Janel Klein is here, too. Hi, Janel.
Hello.
Janelle.
Hi, Randy.
Pirate Jane is the new name.
Yeah.
Ooh, why?
We'll tell you all about that. We will. She came in calling herself Pirate Jane.
Pirate Jane?
She said she's been nursing a pirate eye.
Yes.
We'll let you in on that, Randy Shaver. The planets have aligned, and we get another crack at chatting with Glenn Perkins about Twins baseball. Good morning, Glenn.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to be back.
Yeah, we're happy to have you back. We were all talking about it off air. By damn, we haven't talked to you in a long time. You went on vacation. We went on vacation. This and that. How you been?
I have no complaints. I had a good summer vacation trip with the family, and then last week I guess you guys were off. Were you guys off 4th of July? So
yeah,
we got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. Well, where did you go on vacation?
We went overseas. We were in London for a short time, and then we went to Mallorca, Spain. I guess that's Spain technically. It's an island just off the coast of Spain on the east side. And then we're in Barcelona for a couple of days.
Jesus balls,
man! We do time off very differently, Glenn.
Yeah, Josh went to Wilmer, for Christ's sake.
Because I had a coupon.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that either. Wilmer's cool.
Josh went to Wilmer, spent a little time in Waconia or something like that. What a vacation, Glenn Perkins.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was our daughter's senior trip. That's where she wanted to go. She wanted to go to Spain and speak Spanish. And then she panicked and didn't speak any Spanish. But the trip was still really fun.
Yeah.
Do you speak any Spanish?
I speak Spanish. I know a whole bunch of words. Just stuff that I picked up in the clubhouse over the years. I never had any, I didn't take Spanish class. I took whatever the minimum was in high school. But then I learned a bunch of Spanish. I can't understand any Spanish, anything when they're talking. But I know I have a pretty good vocabulary, I would say.
Okay. One of my friend's kids just did one of those things where the kid goes all the way over to Spain and becomes an exchange student for a few weeks. And
like they went and studied abroad?
Well, not exactly. Maybe that's a proper term. But where I'm going with this is the goal of this is as soon as the kid sets foot on Spanish soil, they are not to speak any English until they come home. You see what I'm saying? So and they move in with a Spanish family, and they're challenged not to speak any English at all. And, the kid loved it, and they're very passionate about, learning other languages. I was very good at Spanish, actually. It probably surprised some of you, is that I was very good at it as a ninth grader. I can't remember a damn thing at this point.
Working in restaurants, I learned just bad words from people where English wasn't their first language. That was kind of fun.
What a trip, Glenn Perkins. And now you're back, calling ball games. What's your situation for this Cubs series?
We have actually, this is going to be a really fun series. On TV, Corey Provis is out. He's gone. He's on vacation. He calls it on assignment. He is on a lake somewhere relaxing, probably by Wilmer.
I've got a coupon.
He's out for this series. It's me, Justin Morneau, Trevor Plouffe in the booth.
Boy.
This is the all...
Who's in charge of the conversation?
I am in charge today.
Okay.
And then, I don't know the order, but one of them is in charge tomorrow, one of them is in charge on Thursday. We've got Pablo Lopez coming up in the booth today. He's going to be up there from the third inning till whenever he decides he doesn't want to be around us anymore.
Cool.
If that's in the third inning, if that's in the ninth inning, great. He's going to be up there with us, so we're going to have a lot of fun. We have a ton of fun stuff planned for the series with player interviews, on the field, in the dugout interviews. Plouffe and Morneau are both going to be ball boys this week for a time.
Awesome.
They're going to be mic'd up down on the field performing ball boy duties.
Yes. Morneau's going to be down the first base line. Plouffe is going to be down the third base line.
That's hilarious.
Close to their positions, but far enough away because we're all old and not good anymore.
The reflexes aren't what they used to be. I remember reading about this a couple of weeks ago where it was going to be like an all-color commentary group, an all-ex-player group. I remember that Trevor Plouffe, if I'm not mistaken, said, this is going to be a disaster.
But in the best possible way.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. It's going to be different. I mean, there's no question about it. We're not going to have a play-by-play guy. I think we're going to try to do some calls and have some fun with that. But it's going to be more, I think the best way to put it is if the three of us are sitting on a couch watching a baseball game.
Yeah.
I think is the best way to put it. And then with some stuff built around that. We'll have a whole bunch of highlight stuff and go down memory lane, all those fun things. So I think it'll be really fun. And I honestly don't know how it's actually going to go, but in my mind, it's going to be awesome.
Well, I think it's a cool idea. It's working for some other programs. Everyone loves the Manning cast and all that. And you three guys obviously have great personalities, a lot of stories, a lot of humor. So I'm looking forward to it. So that's all series long against the Cubs. That's the vibe going around.
That's going to be all 3 days, and really looking forward to it.
Cool,
it's
man.
It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Do you think Corey's going to be watching and texting during the game?
No, he actually told me on Sunday after the game. He said, "Have fun. I will not be watching."
Nice.
You know what?
Nothing like the vote of confidence.
He gets 2 series off a year, and I don't blame him one bit for not wanting to watch baseball for a couple of days and spend some time with his family, because I feel like I work a lot, and I'm like half what he does. So, if I were him, I would do the same thing.
How much radio do you think we pay attention to when we're on vacation?
That's exactly right. I think, it's a job, and so when you get time off, take your time off.
That is cool. All right, we'll be checking that out. Randy Shaver loves this now when the National League clubs come to town. Especially when you got, say, this weekend, I believe Paul Skeens is scheduled to pitch for the Pirates. Randy, do you know if that's true?
I don't.
As of right now, Saturday is set up to be Joe Ryan and Paul Skeens, which that has the potential to be really awesome. Joe Ryan got hosed out of an All-Star spot.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Hopefully he gets added at some point this week. He's got to be the first guy, and there's going to be guys that drop out because they're going to pitch on Sunday. Things always happen. He has to be the first guy added.
Yeah.
Those guys don't, but those guys are still all-stars. They would probably, right? They'll still go to they may pitch.
Yes. It's just if you pitch on Sunday, then you can't pitch in the game on Tuesday. And so then you're an all-star, but you're not part of the active roster. And I would imagine there's going to be a couple of guys in that scenario. And then Joe, I would hope here in the next couple of days gets added. He certainly deserves it. I think everything that I've read from every publication of All-Star snubs, he's at the top of the list. And so hopefully we'll see him. But either way, Joe Ryan and Paul Skeens on Saturday, as of right now, will be awesome.
Yeah.
First, they got to get through the Cubs series. That starts 6:40 tonight. Simeon Woods Richardson going to pitch for the Twins. The Cubs are a first-place club there in the National League Central. Am I mistaken?
Yep,
first place. They fluked their way to a World Series back in 2016. Boy, that pissed me off. I didn't want the Cubs to win that World Series. I wanted them to continue.
Why not?
Because they had how many cracks at it? This was the part that nobody talked about. When the Cubs and the Indians were playing in the World Series in 2016, everybody wanted the Cubs. They've never won a World Series. They went to the World Series like 11 times before that. How many chances is it? No one mentioned that, though. No one mentioned that. We're all supposed to act like this was their first sniff at it. It was a fluke, Glenn Perkins. Aggravated.
It had been like 100 years since they won the World Series.
Not my problem.
Overdue.
Not my problem. Cubs and Twins starts tonight. And now, speaking of the All-Star game, so you got these 2 series at home, and then we're going to hit the All-Star break. I know I told you this the first time. I think we had you on the air, Glenn Perkins. One of my fondest memories of being a baseball fan in this town was watching you and Kurt Suzuki in the All-Star game. Here at Target Field. Damn, that was so cool to watch you guys close that game out.
That we're gonna have a lot of highlights and a lot of talk about that. I think today in the broadcast. It was incredible. I still, like, every time I think about it, it feels further away, even though it feels like yesterday. That was 11 years ago now.
What? No, it wasn't.
But it really feels like that was yesterday. I remember it vividly. And the circumstances leading up to it were unbelievable. And being from here and being a Twins fan my whole life, all of those things. And then to get to pitch in that game. I'm super happy for Buck. And he's not from Atlanta. He's not from anywhere close to Atlanta, frankly. But that's his home state, and I think those fans know they're Georgia boys. And
yeah.
So it's going to be really cool for him. I'm pumped that he's doing the home run derby. I think it'll be the first home run derby I watch since 2014, 2015, I guess, when I was in the 2015 All-Star game. So
yeah.
I think he might win it, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us really do cartwheels over the home run derby anymore. No. There have been some cool episodes over the years. There really has. But it is going to be really cool to see Buck there. He's such a terrific guy and a terrific player, and I just hope he has a blast. And hell, if he wins the damn thing, that'd be great too. So,
and I think that he's a lot like Joe Mauer in that Twins fans got to see Joe play every day. Twins fans get to see Byron Buxton play every day, and there's a level of taking those guys for granted. And when you hear what other people around the league and other players around the league, the way they talked about Joe when I played with Joe, and the way that those guys talk about Byron Buxton, Byron Buxton is far and away one of the top 3 players in baseball, according to the other players. When they say who's the most impactful guys, if you could have the tools of another player, who would it be? So many of the players say Byron Buxton, and so for him to be able to show what he can do on a national stage, the last time he was in an All-Star game, he hit a home run, and that ended up giving them the win. He should have been the MVP in that game. So who knows what he'll do in this one? But I'd be shocked if he doesn't do something crazy because he is so special.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I was reading a list of the past Twins who have participated in the Home Run Derby. I know it wasn't that long ago. We talked about Tom Bernansky and the debut of the Home Run Derby right here at the old Metrodome in 1985. You mentioned Joe Mauer. I do not remember his appearance in the Home Run Derby, but it says here he went through with it in 2000+9. I don't recall.
That would have been in St. Louis.
Okay.
I don't remember how he did.
Yeah, I don't either. 1989, Gary Gaetti. 2002, Torrey Hunter. 2007 and 8, Justin Morneau. 2014, Brian Dozier. I have memories of that because I think Dozier did pretty well in the Derby.
He did okay. I think he got a little pull happy.
Yeah.
Morneau was in that one as well.
Okay.
The 2007 one, Justin won, and nobody remembers it because that's when Josh Hamilton had like 140 homers.
Yes, that's exactly right. Josh Hamilton was like a friggin' video game.
It was.
And then he ran out of gas.
The way the format worked, Morney he paced himself.
Yeah. Yeah, Hamilton ran out of gas, and Morneau took it, out from under him. 2017, Miguel Sano was involved in the home run.
To answer your guys' question, Mauer had 5 home runs in the first round, didn't advance to the second round.
Well, that's 5 more than the rest of us would have hit.
Yeah.
So good for him. Glenn, we got Glenn Perkins on the line here talking Twins baseball. Glenn Perkins, do you know what the Byron Buxton talking bobblehead doll says? Or are you not familiar with this?
I didn't know that there was a talking bobblehead.
Well, you should know these things now, Glenn.
We haven't done any promos for that one.
This weekend, they're handing out a Byron Buxton talking bobblehead doll, and I thought with your inside knowledge, you might know what the talking doll is going to say to us.
I'm assuming that we're going to be promoting that one this week. We've been promoting the Joe Ryan Stranger Things Billy bobblehead.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Riding a bike. I'm not familiar with Stranger Things, but apparently Joe looks like Billy from Stranger Things. He also rides his bike to the field.
Oh, does he?
Really?
So,
that's adorable.
Yeah, but I'm imagining now that'll be part of my responsibility tonight is probably reading an ad similar to what you just said there. That Saturday there will be a Byron Buxton talking bobblehead. I don't know what it's going to say.
Yeah, we were discussing it yesterday. Okay, first off, right, Joe Ryan, I don't know Stranger Things either. It's a television show where kids go back in time or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, you got it.
And he's riding a bike. This looks like a very fun bobblehead doll, even though I don't understand the reference. What else are they doing? Did you know that Nelly is coming to play a show?
Yeah, on the last road trip, I was on the radio side reading, "It's getting hot in here because Nelly is coming to Target Field." July 11th.
Yeah.
So, yes.
What do you do when it gets hot in here? What do you do, Glenn?
I love the post-game concerts.
You do?
We've gotten to see a bunch at home. We've gotten to see some on the road, including in Baltimore a couple of years ago. DJ Shaq Diesel,
dude,
came out and did a set. But Nelly's going to be sweet. I think he's going to put on a pretty good show.
That's Friday night when they're playing the Pirates. When the game is over, Nelly's going to do. When it gets hot in here, Josh takes off some of his clothes. Yeah. Not a lot, though. He's willing to put up with the heat because he's that ashamed of his body.
I'll take off my indoor shoes because I have indoor and outdoor. That's it.
And, Target Field's got some things. I mean, you know what we missed? We missed last night, I think it was. What's the date today? Last night they played a movie on the Jumbotron at Target Field, and you could show up and watch a movie. You want to know what movie it was?
Well, what movie was it?
Twisters.
No way.
Yeah, it was Twisters. So there's all kinds of things going on over there. Nelly, bad tornado movies, bobblehead dolls. Oh, man. All right, what else do we got to cover with Glenn? We're wearing the guy out, for Pete's sake. Oh, we mentioned Paul Skeens, with the Pittsburgh Pirates. God dang. You want to talk about some tough luck for this dude. That's been his story, hasn't it, his whole career?
Yep. Well, not the whole career.
Well, I think that's why it's going to be a good game. I think that one, there's a good chance that game is 0-0 deep because Paul Skeens is maybe the best pitcher in baseball. Joe Ryan is up there. The Pirates' offense is atrocious.
Yeah.
Which is why Paul Skeens, I think he's allowed 0 or 1 run in like 12 or 13 starts this year and has 4 wins.
4 and 7.
So they don't score, but I think that it's going to be really fun to watch him pitch. I think there's certain guys, seeing Spencer Strider a couple of years ago in Atlanta throwing 100 miles an hour. Tarek Skubal, Sunday Night Baseball, when the Twins just were in Detroit.
Lord.
A week ago was amazing watching him pitch and the energy that stadium had and that they had for him. And sometimes I feel a little bad because I'm like excited to watch somebody carve up the Twins, but being a sports fan, being a baseball fan, I think that's part of it. And so even for Twins fans, there's nothing wrong with showing up to be able to watch a visiting pitcher pitch or a visiting player pitch. I think that for me would be one that I wouldn't want to miss, getting an opportunity to watch Paul Skeens at his best.
He's allowed just 7 earned runs in his last 7 starts. He did not get the win in any of those games. In fact, he has just 1 victory in his last 13 starts, despite having a 1.72 ERA across that stretch of time.
Wow. Get him out of there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's that guy. That's how he operates. Okay, we have inside information from a listener by the name of Ginger Healthcare Account Jesus, who says the Byron Buxton bobblehead doll doesn't say Dick Tracy, but when you press the button, a truck horn sounds because he's doing the buck truck.
Oh.
So it's the...
That makes sense.
That kind of a thing. I like that.
Cute.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. All right, Glenn, nice to have you back.
Good to be back.
And have fun with your all-ex-jock showdown tonight.
We'll have fun, and I appreciate all the good luck that we can receive.
You guys will be great.
Yeah, you'll be great.
You guys will be great. You'll have a lot of friggin' fun. And
no question about that. I think the one worry is that we keep it within FCC regulations.
We know the feeling.
That's all the Twins are worried about is that we don't go too far down the locker room rabbit hole.
Get some, Glenn Perkins. Get some, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, guys.
Thanks, pal. Tonight at 6:40, Twins and Cubs fire up that 3-game series, and it'll be Glenn, it'll be Justin Morneau, and Trevor Plouffe on the call. That's not a bad group. Not a bad group right there. Especially for the ladies. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Randy Shaver. Janel Klein is here, too. You were wondering why we were calling her Pirate Jane. She's running around town with only one good eye.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Bar fight.
Yeah, she got into a scrap in a strip club in Winnipeg. And
that happens.
Easy to do, yeah.
No, Janelle's going through a little procedure with the eyes.
Yeah.
And they're straightening this out and straightening that out. And you can kind of tell one of your eyes is a little... But that's
puffy.
It's a cool thing that you're doing, getting that.
Yeah.
You don't have to wear glasses ever, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I had LASIK, quite a few years ago, and it was the best thing I ever did. But it was just kind of getting a little soft, if you will. So I did, if anyone's had this, PRK. And I did it at North Dakota Eye Clinic. My friend did it for me all those years ago and then did this now. So he did a fantastic job. It just takes a little longer to heal.
Did you think about wearing a patch?
I like the look.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you think I could, maybe have some street cred if I wore
yeah,
that?
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Look a little tougher?
What was that old Kurt Russell movie, Josh? Escape from New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
he
look
looked
like
cool in that.
Snake Siskin from Escape. She got a little thing happening.
Yeah, you know what? It's been great. And I know over time, it's pretty darn good now. I think, give it another week or two and it'll be crystal clear again. So, yeah,
Randy,
it's good.
Randy Shaver, can you see where you're going most days or not?
I try not to.
Yeah. You don't wear glasses ever, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Just for reading?
Actually, I wear them to drive at night.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got a guy, Randy.
Yeah, she's got a guy.
Yeah, you know what, Janelle? I am not one of those people that feel comfortable with people messing with my eyes. So I could not do what you did.
It's always the eyes.
I'm one of those people too, Randy, and I had LASIK done. The worst part for me was the pressure because they have to hold you in place. So they put something around your eye to really get your head against the back of the seat
They
there.
need you to be completely still.
Yeah, that part was the worst. But they drug you up for the other stuff.
Did they get you high?
Yeah.
If you're
Keep you from kicking your legs around?
Janelle, if you're interested, there's some Prime Day deals on eye patches on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, Prime Day.
I can get you 2 for $3.50 delivered today between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m.
If I would have gone on the boat cruise with an eye patch,
that would have been awesome.
That would have been good.
Hell
They would have thought you were the captain.
Right? I could have brought a parrot and a sword.
Ooh, a scabbard. I could see you carrying one of those around.
My eyesight is failing me quickly, but I was the last member of my family to need any eye. What's the word I'm looking for?
Assistance.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Josh. So I got those bragging rights.
I can't imagine you without glasses now. I'm so used to them.
Wear them all the time here at the building because I'm always reading something or another. I don't really wear them much outside of work, which is becoming a problem. I should bring cheaters with me because when I get a tab at the bar now, I don't know if it says $11 or $755. I can't see what the hell's going on. Further baseball stuff, Randy Shaver, Manny Machado of the San Diego Padres got his 2,000th career hit last night, okay?
Yep.
You excited for Manny Machado?
I think that's...
Off the glove of Perdomo. Hit number 2,000 of his career for Manny Machado as he continues to build on his resume towards the Hall.
Boy, does that guy puke.
I know. I noticed that, too.
I didn't notice that the first time around. That guy just vomits. That's a shame.
Got a text from an Amazon driver. He said, I'm the Amazon driver in your area. If you buy those eye patches, I'll make sure you don't get them. Ha ha. But it says between 2 and 6. It's Prime Day.
A lot of guys have hit the 2,000 hit mark. Well, 297 of them. Maybe that's not a lot when you compare them to all baseball
players that have played, yeah.
Right. But, so the question is, can Manny get to 3,000?
You talking about, are you saying that there's 297 that have reached 2,000 but not have reached 3,000?
I think that's what I'm saying.
Or you're including...
Machado is the 5th active player and 297th all-time to reach $2,000 in base hits.
So that includes the guys that have reached 3,000 or more?
It must.
Okay.
He has...
That's not a lot. Again, that tells you how extremely difficult it is to achieve even 2,000 hits.
When you put it up against everybody who's swung a bat in the big leagues. Here's a little trivia for you, Randy Shaver. Machado has 950 hits with the Padres, which ranks him 5th on the franchise list. Can you give me the other guys in the top 5 all-time Padres hits list? Number 1 is painfully obvious.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn, 3,141 hits. He's number 1 on the list.
Man. Would Winfield be on the list?
Number 3 on the list. He had 1,134 hits with the San Diego Padres.
Okay.
I'll give you a hint. He played the middle infield with. He played the middle infield for the Padres in the early '80s. He had a big hairdo and he was thin as a pencil. And he played in the All-Star game here in 1985. And his initials are GT. I thought that would have done it. Gary Templeton.
Yeah, Gary Templeton.
Had 1,135 hits with the San Diego. The other is a guy named Gene Richards. I don't recognize the name.
Nope.
God dang it. I was going to bring this up to Glenn Perkins, and I forgot to. I was going to ask him about, like, crazy out-of-town youth baseball tournaments I'm sure he was involved in when he was a kid, and how wild the parents got and the coaches got. We've traded those stories whenever we went out of town with our hockey team or whatever.
Sure.
Our parents would get wicked drunk and swap partners. It was just disgusting. Our coaches were drunks, and they'd be you'd find a coach in the hallway, in the middle of the night. Just because when we did those out-of-town hockey tournaments, our folks and our coaches would cut loose. Crazy. I do remember one of my youth hockey coaches chasing us kids around the hallway in nothing but his tighty whities because he was effing hammered. A couple of moron youth baseball coaches from the state of Illinois got fired after getting naked and running the bases in the nude at an out-of-town tournament in New York.
Oh, my God.
And they were caught on video doing this.
It was at least in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, it was like 1 a.m.
Okay.
But there were kids there.
Oh,
gross.
No.
Some of the kids were there.
Uh-oh.
They filmed it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
These guys must have been just wrecked. I mean, just beyond. God. Or they're sick perverts. I don't know, one of the two.
That's like legally, problem, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can't just get naked and run around town.
Right.
This was at the ballpark where they were playing games for this out-of-town tournament in New York. One of the dudes, this guy's got courage. One of the dudes even slid headfirst into home plate with his dong and nuts.
Oh.
Baby, no.
Yeah.
No.
Just squashed him into nothing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's so bad.
They've been fired.
Yeah.
And the team got disqualified from the tournament.
Oh, my God. So the kids get punished for the adults being idiots.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Did they comment after?
I think they disappeared.
Yeah, I wouldn't comment. I'd be out of there.
They didn't say a word.
Imagine being a parent who spent, X amount of money to bring your kid to a tournament and realize that they're not going to play because your coaches ran naked around the field and the kids were there as well.
Was one of the coaches named Randy Marsh by chance?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was Randy Marsh and Gerald Broflovsky. Did I get the names right? Here's what happened, at least from what I understand. The next day, it sounds like the next day, these coaches woke up and they kind of knew, oh, God, what have we done? And they left town.
We've done it now.
They just left.
I get it. I get it.
They knew they had to get the hell out of New York.
Oh, my God.
I'd be terrified. I don't want to see the parents after that.
Well, probably because they maybe thought they were going to get arrested.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's true.
And the cops did come knocking.
Good God.
Oh, boy.
There was a funny comment on the video. Somebody wrote, 4 balls? Well, that's a walk.
Yeah. Oh, man. I remember at one of my Pee-wee hockey out-of-town tournaments coming into the locker room for the day game, I think it was the day we were leaving. You play a game or two, and then you get the hell out of town. I think we were in Grand Rapids, and one of my coaches sat down on the bench next to me, and he's just green. And he's just sitting there doing this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we've been there.
And finally, I had to say, I said, yeah, you all right? And he goes, I don't think so. I tried to go beer for beer with your dad last night. And I said, dude, nobody should try to do that. Nobody should. My dad was named the second greatest beer drinker in the history of the Wayzata Legion.
Oh, my God.
Second greatest.
Who's first?
His buddy, Larry.
Oh.
Larry. Speaking of, genitals swinging around. Let's see here. Where was this? Pittsburgh. They're going to take another crack at an event called Balls Out Bowling. It's nude bowling.
I guess that's got to be pretty safe to do in the nude, right?
Yeah.
The ball return might make me a little nervous. I'd maybe give myself some distance from that.
Don't be...
Maybe if you slip and fall.
Yeah, slipping.
Slipping and landing on a testicle or something.
Oh, so you can't even wear bowling shoes? It's got to be fully nude, barefoot too?
They don't get into that.
I saw people wering bowling shoes in some of the pictures.
That would be a weird feeling to be naked with just bowling shoes on.
Honestly, I think I'd rather be like absolutely have nothing on my feet for better grip. When I've had those bowling shoes on before, they get pretty slippery.
Well, they're meant to slide.
Yeah, those are dangerous. I'd rather just be in my regular tennies.
Well, you were talking earlier about you're a prolific sweater.
Yes.
Do your feet, would that cause an issue for you?
No, they don't sweat that bad, actually.
It's just kind of everything else?
Janel Klein, what sports have you tried while nude?
Oh boy.
None.
None of them?
I mean, my question is why?
Skinny skiing? Have you ever tried skinny skiing?
No. Nope.
I don't know why, because nudists need a reason to get together and look at each other's gear. That's the reason why. They call it the ultimate bowling experience. It's happening in Pittsburgh. You bowl in the nude. It's for anyone over the age of 18.
Is it in the dark?
No.
Cosmic bowling.
I don't know.
I think you should have to be 40 for this.
I think most folks are quite a bit older than that even.
Yeah. But that's my point is most of the folks who are going to show up for nude bowling are going to be in their 60s and 70s.
Yeah, no 21-year-old hot chick is showing up to this.
No. Of course they're not going to, but I think it's wrong to say 18 and up for this. Because no 18-year-old should be naked in the same room with a 74-year-old or something like that.
I would agree,
Unless
yes.
they're married or something like that. So I think it should be 40 and up. It's $30 for a ticket.
Oh, not too bad.
Nudity is required, with the exception that women can wear bottoms.
Oh, that's nice, at least.
Like a lot of these naturist or nudist activities, sexual action is not permitted. Those running the event say nudism does not equal consent and harassment will not be taken lightly. Violators will be beaten and then asked to leave. And no photography or video is allowed.
I don't know. I have a feeling that's not going to be enforced that greatly.
What, the sexual horsing around?
That and the photography.
Oh, yeah, I saw pictures, so somebody
Yeah.
definitely took some pictures.
Very easy to take a picture while you're pretending you're on your phone.
I'll tell you, I'd be nervous if I was a thumb hole on a bowling ball, that's for sure.
I think I remember us bringing that up last year, the Balls Out Bowling event.
Yeah.
Oh, be so chilly.
Yeah, that's possible. Let's talk about some PEDs here, performance-enhancing drugs, which is, I've always been supportive of performance-enhancing drugs in sports. I have. I've never understood why folks wet themselves when they hear that a player is on steroids and whatnot.
Well, I was really upset during the steroid era just because the Twins weren't doing them.
Yeah.
That's what everybody else was. Like, Mankiewicz should have had a syringe hanging out of his ass before every game.
They didn't make it to the small markets.
No, they didn't.
The big market guys had all the steroids.
That's what made me upset. It's like, why aren't the Twins doing them?
The way I've always looked at it is performance-enhancing drugs, if it means I get to watch a 635-foot home run that takes down an airplane on its way into the bleachers, I'm all for it. But here's a little story about a fencer, an Olympic quality fencer from France. I won't even take a crack at her name. Let's call her Broomhilda. Broomhilda, the Olympic fencer from France. She was looking at a ban, a 4-year ban from the sport, because she tested positive for a banned substance that can do this to your muscles and that to your bone growth and this and that. When she had a chance to defend herself in court, she claimed she had not taken this banned substance, but she says, yes, I was exposed to it by a former lover who had taken the drug without her knowledge, and then they made out and whatnot, and that's how it spread to her. You following that? With kissing and other things. And it was proven to be true.
Wow.
Yeah.
So enough can transfer that they would be able to detect that?
Yeah.
The test?
Yeah.
Wow.
They gave her some elaborate spit test or something, and the dude, her boyfriend, who she said, he was on the drug, he stepped up and said, yeah, it was me, because he's also some sort of an athlete. And they did this test and another test, and it was proven to be true. He spread this banned substance to her through sex play.
That's funny that that's true, because I kind of almost think it makes me think of the old, no, I got the STD from sitting on the toilet seat, honey. I wasn't cheating on you. That old excuse. But no, it actually transfers that way, huh?
Yep.
Speaking of that type of the PEDs, the enhanced games are coming to Vegas next year, like the Olympics of folks that are on HGH, and it's encouraged. They're encouraging you to do
the first time?
I thought it had happened before, but the article said it is the first time.
I remember reading about this. They're going to pick up cars and throw them over volleyball nets or something. Just insane feats of strength.
Okay.
These people are all on the gas.
Yeah, the goal is to reduce the stigma of those drugs.
Yeah.
And so everyone that's going to be competing is on those drugs.
Yeah.
What in the world?
I remember hearing about that. Sounds exciting.
Yeah, we had talked about it so long ago, I assumed it had already happened, but no, it's next year in Vegas.
They're going to play beer league softball, Randy, but with a shot put.
I love it.
Yeah.
Out there's there an age requirement with that kind of stuff? Because can't this, I mean, this is just what I've read and heard over the years. Can't it do terrible things? Aren't there bad side effects for especially growing bodies and such?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of terrible side effects.
But it's cool for a while.
Yeah, it's fun for a while.
Well, I could tell you, it killed my father-in-law. He used to do those, and they think that contributed to his death at the age of 48.
It'll kill you.
Wow, 48, wow.
Hell, there was one kid at my high school. I mean, in months, he tripled in size. Just unbelievable how quickly this dude went from a friggin' rail to Lou Ferrigno.
Where's he getting that stuff from?
It was everywhere. This was late 80s. It was everywhere.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, hell yeah. There were dudes at my high school who just exploded.
Yeah.
And if you looked at their backs.
The
back
side
knee.
Effects? Oh.
The back knee.
Let me get that.
All right, so there was another case similar to this now where drugs spread through making out or more. A French tennis player a number of years ago tested positive for cocaine, and he blamed it on a lady he made out with while partying at a nightclub in Miami. And I guess that was also proven to be true. Just the kissing transferred that booger sugar from one person to the next. So be careful, single people. You're the only single one left now, Janelle.
Yeah, I got to quit making out with people.
Yeah.
You and
or
all
be
your
more
making
selective.
Yeah.
For Pete's sake, would you be more selective?
You know you're the only single one now, right? You heard what happened with Smashley.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get a chance to tell you. I got married over the last week. So
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I went and got eloped. Did the whole thing. Thank
Good
you
for
so
you.
much.
You know I love your husband.
No, it's not that guy.
That's the twist.
He loves you as well, Janelle. You should have seen how excited he was the day that you guys became Facebook friends. He's like, "This is it. I've made it in life."
My God.
It's not the dude. It's not the dude you're thinking of.
Someone else.
Yeah.
Well, I know Ashley's in demand. What can she say? Oh, that's great news. Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Randy Shaver, does this do anything for you? The Timberwolves are interested in Bradley Beal.
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah,
how about the Timberwolves are interested in Malcolm Brogdon?
No, he's broken down.
Broken Brogdon?
Yeah.
Well, wait,
I mean, what they're trying to do is find a veteran, backup, point guard, guard.
Right.
I get that.
I mean, Bradley Beal can still score a little bit, can't he?
Yeah, but he's been injured quite a bit.
Sure.
He's just not the same player that he was 5 years ago. And I guess my question would be, are they signing him as a free agent or are they giving something up?
Let me see what does it say. Oh, God.
Because if they're giving something up, I wouldn't do that.
And, okay, fine. My question would be, all this talk about guards, do they not have any confidence anymore in the development of the Baby Dill? Rob Dillingham? Baby Dill is the nickname.
I think they're keeping him.
Well, I know they're keeping him, but do they have no confidence in him progressing next season?
I don't think that's – I think when his name was part of trade talks, it's because he has value. So I don't think they're trying to get rid of him. I think he's part of those discussions because he's probably one of the bigger pieces of the trade because of his value as a young player.
Seems like they keep trying to dump someone that
DiVincenzo's name has come up a lot, and I think that makes a little bit more sense because he's a veteran player and whatever. I think the Wolves have got two great young guards that they need to hold on to.
Dillingham and Shannon is who you're referring to.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Shannon is I mean, if he's not in the rotation 20 to 22 minutes a game
he will be.
That's a crying shame. That kid needs to play.
Speaking of NBA guards, it's too bad to read that Tyrese Halliburton will not be playing next season after his Achilles fell off in the NBA Final.
That's not surprising, though. That's
a tough one to get over.
Yes, especially when you play basketball. Yeah, that's super difficult.
All right, video game junkie that you are, Randy Shaver. The EA Sports college football game.
Yes.
It says here, Deion Sanders and Bill Belichick have opted out of the game that comes out in a couple days, by the way.
A couple days, or does it come out in August?
I read July 11th or so. What's the date
really?
today? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
EA Sports College Football 26 comes out in a couple days, unless I'm mistaken.
July 10th.
Okay. Bill Belichick and Deion Sanders have refused to give EA Sports their likenesses to be used in the ball game. Does that bother you one way or the other?
No, because for most game people, I usually probably create myself to be the coach of the team that I care about. So that doesn't.
What do you mean? You create a character that looks like you to be the coach?
Yeah, correct.
And then when they show a shot of the sideline, there you are wearing the U of M hat.
That's right. Yes.
Hey, that bulge is a little bigger than it is in real life.
No, Josh, I always pick the slender physique, good-looking young guy as myself.
You sound like me when I create a sim in Sims 4 after myself. I just make her ridiculously hot.
So you bump PJ aside and make yourself the head coach.
You can, yes.
Well, that's not right.
That's a part of the game, yes.
I remember there was a video game, a hockey video game a number of years ago where you could create yourself as a player.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could choose the style of nose, eyes, hair color, eyebrows, mouth. It was great. Mm-hmm. And
you can still do that in the football game. You can create, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but you can create yourself, and then you travel through the process of playing college football. You can do that.
That's funny. I didn't picture you as the type who would create a handsome Randy character.
That is cute to imagine.
If I told you all of the crazy things I have done playing the football game or the baseball game, and the time I have spent doing some of those things, you'd be like, what in the world?
Organizing rosters and depth charts and...
Yep.
That's freaky.
My son's like that, too.
But really? You know what, though? I have this OCD of that. I can't play these games with generic people. I can't do that. It's just, I can't. There was a company out of Iowa City years ago that would send you a memory stick with all the players' real names, and they created this so that you could, because the game was a generic game at the time, but you could plug in this stick, and all of a sudden the players were all real people.
And you need that.
I need that. I cannot. Nick.
Even the interior linemen, you need to know their names.
Yes, I cannot play the game unless it's realistic.
That is some kind of an effed up phobia or something.
Which is why I'm excited about the basketball game if they're able to create the realism of coaching a college basketball team and, a small market making the NCAA tournament. That sounds cool.
All right, you crackpot.
I know, exactly.
You got to have the real thing.
Yep.
Fair enough, Randy Shaver. All right, buddy, take a day off now.
Take a day off?
Yeah.
Oh, am I not coming back tomorrow?
No, I'm joking around. You're a retired person. Every day's a friggin' day off.
Your workday's done.
Take the rest of the day to yourself,
Gotcha.
and we'll wrap with you tomorrow morning.
All right.
All right, thanks, Randy. More with Janel Klein when we come back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
On 93X.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog, comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.
Vince Colonnese is redefining news talk.
Hi, I'm Vince Colonnese, host of the Vince Podcast. These conversations where we can air all of this out without the filters, without the censors, without people with judgment, that's how you get a healthy country. Adult, reasonable, sober conversations. That's all I want.
In-depth interviews, live caller interactions, and a front row seat to the most important conversations of the day.
That's why I'm so grateful that we get to do this every day. You are really the best damn audience in media.
The Vince Show.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
And now, KARE 11's Janel Klein, sponsored by Luther Bloomington Kia.
I'll be damned. It is 8:33. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. Janel Klein is here, and she's down. Always down. Down with the sickness, I think they say. Good to see you again, Janel.
You guys too. It feels like a long time.
I know it does.
Yeah.
It's been a couple weeks.
I missed you.
We missed you, too.
Yeah.
Tell us what's up.
What is up? Well, like I told you, I did this eye surgery thing. I went to a wedding.
Went to a wedding.
Yep. That was fun. I always love a good wedding.
Relation, a friend, family member?
A friend's son.
Okay.
Which is always crazy because you remember these kids I was pretty young when they were born, and now they're, 23, 24, and you're just like, how did that happen? It's so weird. It's so weird. You never think of them being that old.
Yeah,
so that was fun.
Yeah, they're always, I guess I shouldn't say always. The reception is usually fun.
Yes.
The reception is usually fun.
Yeah.
Things got dramatic off air here a few minutes ago before, right before we went live. Ashley and Janel were talking about Ashley's recent marriage, and Josh and I are usually having a thumb war or something, on the side over here, just doing something silly when we're off air. And then things got dramatic. Josh was saying something about how when we were on vacation, you may have had a relationship or two come to an end, Cubby?
I think I've ruined my marriage, yeah.
Your marriage?
It's my fault. My wife and I started watching the show The Bear.
Oh.
Very popular show. Never watched it, been told we should give it a shot. I know Dana and Ashley love it. And since that, and you'll know the reference if you watch the show, I have started calling everyone chef constantly, no matter what.
Everyone is, chef.
Thank you, chef.
Thank you, chef. Hand chef.
Oh, yeah,
behind chef.
And then I'll randomly scream hands or call people cousin.
Yep.
Because we binge watch the entire series. It's like 20-some minute per episode.
Oh, that's an emotional roller coaster.
How did this put a roadblock in your marriage?
Because my wife started me calling her chef.
Oh.
I'm texting friends. Dana put up with it. I started with Dana.
Yeah, no, I loved it. At first, I thought you said chief, and I was like, oh, you call me chief. I'm like, oh, no, it's chef. I love that. That's like a nice thing to call somebody. That's a respectful term.
I knew, yeah, right. It's a sign of respect.
It is.
And I knew you'd get the reference immediately.
I have a friend, Josh, one of my very close friends. Her name's Courtney, and we started calling each other chef back and forth to the point where my wife will say, like, hey, you should invite Courtney, out tonight when we go out. I go, I don't know a Courtney. She goes, you should invite Chef out tonight. Like, I insist that she gets referred to by a chef by everybody else now, too.
Now, luckily, I've had a few days to kind of wind it down because if I watched it and then we came into work the next day, you guys would have thrown me out of the studio because I couldn't stop saying it. But I think what really annoyed some folks is the show's, 4 or 5 years old?
Yeah, you are a little late to the party.
Yeah, I'm way late on it. And so that, like, I got a couple buddies that wouldn't acknowledge they knew the reference, but finally said, yeah, welcome to the club, douchebag. We did that 4 or 5 years ago.
I thought maybe you Netflix cheated on her or Hulu cheated on her because that happened to me over like 2 weeks ago, and it was with the bear. So I thought,
who did the cheating, Chef?
I'll tell you, cousin. My husband. He Hulu cheated on me for the first time in our whole entire relationship, and he finished the bear without me. And it wasn't like one episode, Josh. It was 3 or 4 of them. He had plenty of chances to turn it off.
This is a problem?
It really upset me.
Okay.
It was actually, I probably reacted a little bit too much.
Oh, what do you mean? Like, what happened?
I almost cried.
Well, you can't yell or cry as much as they do on that show.
Oh, my goodness.
If you like yelling and everyone's yelling at the exact same time.
And crying?
Watch the bear.
I honestly can't believe that you could get through that because there's a really tough season in there. I can't remember what one it is. Maybe you know, Dana, with the dinner scene.
The Christmas episode?
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis, Hubba Hubba?
Yes, I'm surprised you made it through that.
Was there blood in the clam chowder?
It's just emotionally, like, exhausting to even watch it.
Are you familiar with this, Janel Klein?
God, no.
I never heard of it.
It's funny you mentioned that episode, actually, because when Josh told me he started it, I specifically mentioned there's an episode, season 2, I think it's episode 7. It's a Christmas flashback episode. Just take a deep breath before you start that one.
I was in the middle of watching when you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Punisher got pissed off in that one.
Oh, she sure did.
Is that so? Your marriage was the one relationship you've jeopardized?
Oh, no, there was a couple. There was a couple because, like, I got a buddy now. He's kind of come back around, and now, like, this morning he texted me, Chef. But I was saying it to so many people, I couldn't stop. They say it so much in the show, I couldn't stop.
Well, there are some slang terms and whatnot that stick with you forever.
Yeah.
Forever. If you would have told me when we first started working here 25 some odd years ago, Josh, if you told me that I would still, in the year 20 and 25, if you would have told me that I'd still be saying word all the time, I wouldn't have believed it. But I still, if someone says, hey, man, I'll see you at the bar tonight, I'll say word.
Yeah.
Dude, you passed that on to me, and I cannot stop with it.
That started here at the radio station when Josh and I first walked in the door. There were guys that worked here, and everyone said word and word up. And I cannot stop.
I can't either.
It's probably the one little term, slang, whatever you call it, that I just cannot stop.
I've had someone call me out, and they've said, oh, you talk like Nick. I'm like, oh,
because
sorry.
You said word?
Because I say word often
say
now.
Word. I know a lot of people that say word.
But I definitely did get it from you, and I'm the same way. Every time I say it, I'm like, stop saying
can't
that.
Shake it. You can't shake it.
Dana, to your point, camping, fishing, whip it, Jesus said the 7 Fishes episode almost gave him a stroke. I'll tell you this. I've learned... sorry, another text got me. I've learned it helped me deal with conflict.
Sure.
In a way, or not necessarily conflict, but stress. Mm-hmm. Because if you just give in to the stress and you binge watch that show, you're in some serious trouble. You're going to have a heart attack. But I kind of learned, just let them deal with their own thing, and I'm not going to get emotionally involved.
After you've seen it, there's something kind of comforting about the chaos that is involved in that show.
Here's another person that says they couldn't stop saying, yes, Jeff. That's a really good one.
So this is a very dramatic, sad type of a program.
And it's about...
It can be.
It's about working at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. They take it very seriously.
They do. And you were saying, Josh, you're pissing people off by, using those phrases, yes, chef, behind hands. Do you know who really gets annoyed by when you do that?
Who's that?
Your friends in the service industry. Guys, I started doing that to them. They're like, dude, just stop. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't like the behind thing.
It can happen. Well, I'm sorry to hear about the marriage troubles, but it's about friggin' time.
Well, I knew I'd get to her at some point.
Yeah.
Well,
you guys are too perfect for too long.
It's about friggin' time.
Yeah, Josh, now that Ashley's married a second time, you got to be like the rest of us and join the two-timer club.
That's true. I'm the only one that's only been married once.
Come on, let's get you going.
It's funny. Like a lot of people say they've watched The Bear and they also couldn't stop saying shit.
Yeah, it's just addicting.
It's just more annoying when I do it because I'm 4 or 5 years late.
Well, the newest season did just come out, so it is kind of top of mind for a lot of people.
Thank you,
Does
Chef.
this mean you and I need to watch this?
We could try, but I doubt either one of us would get through episode 1.
I think you'd like it. The main guy, Jeremy Allen White, if you're familiar, he was in Shameless. He's very adorable in it.
I don't like conflict, like you said. I don't like yelling.
Even on television.
No.
I understand, but you have to set that aside, or you'll go crazy.
I couldn't make it through. I mean, everybody was talking about Succession. I couldn't do it.
I can't watch
They're
that.
fighting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It just stressed me out.
I didn't get into
awful
it.
people too.
Yeah.
And to be honest, no offense to folks. I know The Bear is a huge show. I mean, one of the biggest shows on streaming, and people love it. I didn't fully understand why people love it. It was entertaining, and like I said, I watched the whole thing because we had nothing else to do over vacation. But I didn't really get the strong appeal that it has for some folks.
What are the chances? I think it's kind of bizarre that Janelle and I are friends, because what are the chances there'd be two people in a friend group who are less informed on television? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's two of us here.
You're getting better with your wife, because I know she is aware of a lot of that stuff. I was texting with her, calling her chef as
She
well.
watches programs. She does.
And she hasn't watched The Chef yet, but The Bear. Sorry. See, I can't even stop. She hasn't watched The Bear yet, but she had said that's a show that's been on her list, too. So you might be staying Yes Chef soon enough.
I don't know if I'd get through it. You know what else is happening on the internet? Now, let me fill you in on this. People are sharing... this is so strange to use this word out loud. It sounds like this is going to become the new trendy word, on social media. Folks are sharing lore about themselves. Lore.
Some of these have been pretty funny, actually.
I cannot get enough of them.
I think some of this
creative.
Some of this stuff is really interesting if they're telling the truth. Okay, so in case you're like me and you haven't heard that word in decades, lore is something deep, weird, sometimes embarrassing, something iconic about your personal backstory, like you're a character in a movie or a video game. It can't just be just any random fun fact about yourself. It has to be something that stands out a little more. People are sharing lore about themselves. I'm not sure I have anything to tell you that might qualify as lore.
I could only think of one for myself, and it took me a while to come up with it. It's that I once, Janelle, and this might be sad. I take that back. It is sad. I once ate on a dare 13 Perkins Mammoth muffins, including 4 brand ones, and a half gallon of frozen yogurt.
In one sitting?
In one sitting.
The brand one.
And my friends got to pick. Yeah. That was part of it. And so they were being jerks.
I think that qualifies.
Definitely.
That's unique. That's
stupid.
Possibly life-threatening.
I was going to say, do you think that was the start of your digestion issues, Josh? Way back in the day, eating 13 muffins in a...
If that's the case, it took a long time to kick in.
Yeah.
That's an all-timer type story, so I think that qualifies.
Because I was talking to my wife about this, and I was trying to come up with one, and I'm like, oh, maybe that would count. And so she looked up the calories. I think I'm just catching up to where I should be with all the calories in that.
Did you puke?
No. I felt like crap.
With that much bran, it was impossible for anything to move in any direction, I would imagine.
How old were you?
I was driving, so sometime between 16 and 18. I don't exactly remember.
Like I've said before, this is what kids that didn't drink did back in high school. Lore. Let's get back to this now, because there are a couple of stories here from social media that I found really interesting. And like I said, it can't be just your average everyday story about yourself, like once I met Jesse Ventura or something. We're talking about or
won this award or this trophy. It's kind of goofy stuff.
It is kind of goofy. you'll get the idea.
And now, KARE 11's Janel Klein, sponsored by Luther Bloomington Kia.
Yeah, it's the Half-Ass Morning Show with Janel Klein. This morning we've been talking about lore. This is the new word to look out for now. Everyone is using the word lore. And where they're going with this, folks jumped up on the godless, soulless, and often wildly misinformed social media. Folks jumped online to share a piece of lore about themselves. Something really deep, really weird, really unique, legendary type stuff. Like a story from your background. If, say, you were going to be a movie character or a video game character, they would use this lore to describe you. So it can't be just your average everyday crap. Now, I was thinking, do I have any stories from my background that might be considered lore? I don't know. See, now, Josh, a couple people texted in and said, well, you and I, our voices were used in the Grand Theft Auto video game series.
I think that would count.
Okay, maybe.
Well, I don't know, but we were just bit character. I mean,
right.
Not even really a character. We were callers to a fake radio
And
station.
we're on the radio here every day. So what? We were on a friggin' video game. Is it because the video game is worldwide? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is something that I didn't come up with. This was a listener. Now, I thought about Janelle. I think it's fair to say, and you probably have a few of these stories, I think it would qualify as lore, the fact that you were in the courtroom for one of the most dramatic, horrible, recent murder cases, right?
Yeah.
And I can't remember personally what that story was again.
I actually wanted to say which one.
Yeah. Like I said, you've been involved in a few of these.
Yeah.
What was the one
the Green River Killers?
It was the Delphi,
Oh,
Indiana
Delphi.
murders.
Indiana.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, and you being in that documentary, yeah, that's definitely lore.
And I know you're going to get embarrassed, but you dominated in that.
Oh, my God.
Killed
No,
it.
I
You were
didn't.
so good in that.
It's so embarrassing.
So here's
you.
the deal. Here's the deal. Here are some of the stories that folks shared, and I thought, wow, if this is true, this is really, really unique stuff. One lady says, for 4 generations, no woman in my bloodline could keep a husband alive past their 35th birthday. That's friggin' crazy to me.
Wow.
4 generations. These ladies, whatever family this is, their husbands are deader than disco by the time they're 35.
That's
Scary.
like a curse.
Yeah, the gal goes on to say, my fiance's 35th birthday is next week. Pray for him.
Jeez, I will.
Here's someone who lived with an active serial killer. I was engaged to his daughter. We used to go to picnics with his family, and we found out that was where he dumped some of the bodies before he was caught.
Oh, that's sick.
Lived with a serial killer.
Wow.
Dude, I'm still not... I think I have an idea now, a better idea of what the word lore means, but I think that qualifies.
Oh, yeah.
I have a little bit of experience with that. One of my parents' best friends, that one of their kids went on to be a terrible murderer, and we spent a lot of time with them.
Oh.
Creepy, isn't it?
Oh, my God. It's like disgusting to even be associated.
I qualified for the Olympics in archery at the age of 16.
That's cool.
That's really
lore.
cool.
Pretty unique.
Yeah.
But my Southern Baptist parents wouldn't let me go to the Olympics because they think the Olympics are a scheme to bring about the Antichrist. So there's a little icing on that cake.
Yeah, there is.
Whoa, I want to hear more about the upbringing there.
The Olympics were a scheme to bring about the Antichrist.
I want to hear their other theories, too, because that's not the only one.
Probably. Oh, absolutely
Nah.
not. Now, here's one that I don't even know if I should say out loud because I don't. Hey, Josh, read. I'm going to mark this. Is
it the one on the list from Ashley?
I don't know where this came from. Read this one that I put a star next to. Is that a real thing? I don't want to say something like that unless that's a real thing. Is that a possible thing?
I don't know. I don't think you can actually do that, but...
Ashley, you're about ready to... This has to do with babies. You're about ready to have a baby. Is that a real thing?
Let's see. Yes.
It is.
Yep.
You can actually do that?
Yep, that can happen.
I thought that was a joke.
It's technically called, you absorb them.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't really eat them.
Here's this next piece of lore.
Oh, God.
Here's this next piece of lore that was thrown onto social media. It says here, I ate my twin in utero.
Yeah.
That's a real thing that can happen.
Yeah, you can absorb your twin. Yep.
Ah!
I know. It's
Isn't
freaky.
that kind of like what happened with the dude with the two faces, where he's got the face on the back of his head, or conjoined twins?
Great, now I'm not going to be able to nap today.
I know. That freaks
Josh
me out.
brought up my least favorite story in the history of mankind. But yes, I think...
You know who's going to be frowning or crying when they hear that you don't like that picture?
Oh, no, he won't.
The face on the back of the head.
Did I make him sad? Is he crying?
Firefighter Jesus said his grandma invented the finger in the beehole during a BJ.
Oh, be goddamn.
That's where that originated.
It's incredible.
She's a legend in the BJ business.
That is lore.
She's in the Hall of Fame.
This individual said, I ate my twin in utero, and then 35 years later, I gave birth to twins.
Oh, wow.
Dude.
Yeah, my youngest, he was a surviving twin.
Really?
For IVF, they put in two.
Yeah.
He's the one that made it.
Oh, yeah.
Janelle.
That's very common, I've heard, for people that do IVF, Josh, that they will have twins.
Janelle, there was a guy who had a regular face like we all have, right?
Yeah.
And on the back of his head, he had another face.
And it could make expressions.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I mean, I've seen like...
Well, of course you haven't seen that.
Remember those girls that had just like one body and two
Yes.
heads, and then like one got married,
Yes.
but the other didn't? You're
Yes.
like,
So many questions.
I don't understand any of that.
But the dude had a face on the back of his head, and it would laugh, and it would cry, and it would sleep, and it would wake up. Okay.
Here's a gentleman named Simon who said, believe it or not, he had sex twice in a single hour, and he was in his 30s.
Whoa.
That is rare.
Whoa.
And unpleasant, I'd
All right.
imagine.
Just a couple more of these because we got to go. But I'm enjoying this lore gimmick. I am, because this is just legendary, unique stuff that just isn't going to happen to every swinging D in town. Here's a gal who says, see if you can follow this. I met a girl at my work. We have the same birthday. Same day, same year. She was born in Senegal. But if you match up the time zones, we were born at the exact same time. We have the same initials. We're working in the same position. We are now both pregnant, and we have the same due date.
Oh, my God.
I got the chills.
Ah!
I don't like that. That's weird.
Here's another relationship lore from P Isn't Funny, P is P Jesus. His wife and I were born at the same hospital 6 hours apart. Didn't meet until high school. Found out the hospital news after high school when they were dating.
Wow.
That's kind of weird.
Just tell me one thing, Josh. That bit of information you just read, is the face happy or is it sad?
Happy. That's
Oh,
a
God,
lovely
thank God
story.
it's happy.
It's tears of joy is what you're seeing there.
Oh,
It can cry, Janelle.
I know, but does then the other side smile? Like, do they ever have
Like they can't do the same thing?
conflicting emotions?
sometimes I think the main face is smiling, but the back face is frowning,
Right.
and they argue.
Because the main face, that's the star of the show. And that one
Right.
can eat and talk
Right.
and all that stuff. The other one just can make expressions.
So he's always sad because he's like not the main guy.
Yes, yes. It was not a happy existence for the second face.
Yeah,
It was
just no say on where they're going.
way more crying than laughing.
Yeah, I mean, good luck watching a movie because the star face is going to be the one facing the screen.
All right, one more for you. Then we got to say goodbye. As far as lore goes, an individual said, when I was in high school, a jet engine crashed through my bedroom ceiling.
Dude.
What?
It would have killed me, but I wasn't home. I was sleepwalking.
Whoa.
And I woke up on a golf course. But a jet engine crashed through his ceiling in his bedroom, landed in his bed, would have killed him.
That's some guardian angel type stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, whoever would think you'd be happy that you're a sleepwalker. In that case, it saved his life.
One of our listeners was kidnapped in Costa Rica.
Oh,
dude.
And lived to talk about it.
Got out of it. He fought his way out.
That's terrifying.
Oh, Janel Klein. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, you guys.
Great to see you.
I missed you. It's so good to be back.
Come back anytime.
I sure will.
All right.
See you tomorrow.
93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, podcast pals. Today's episode is brought to you by my friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Take it from me as a newly married guy with a very opinionated dog. Comfort is kind of important right now. That's why I'm a Smart Club member of Standard Heating. I get to schedule service when it actually works for me, pay how I want, and choose what fits our home best. Pick the HVAC company that treats you like family, not just another name on the list. That's Standard. Check out standardheating.com and tell them Dana sent you.